This video continues with Chapter 81 Meeting. Please subscribe automatically. One Piece, the God-level wealth system and the rise of Akatsuki. Chapter 81 Meeting. Please subscribe automatically. Wealth value, 22.75 billion points. Code Zero has entered the ultimate stage, but Tong feels that it is not enough. The strength of the 5 saints is probably around the first level, while the 4 saints are even more powerful and may have reached the ultimate intermediate level. Without taking a direct shot, it is difficult for Tong to judge. Although it was said that the 2 5-star elders had joined forces to resist the combined attack strategy, the Akatsuki organization was preparing to evacuate at that time, so there was no way to judge. Tong did not hesitate and once again spent 8 billion wealth points to upgrade the code name to the top mid-level. Wealth value, 14.75 billion points. Upgrading to the high level of absolute power requires 15 billion wealth points. Tong's wealth value is not enough now, but even if it is enough, Tong has no intention of upgrading, and the rest must be distributed to other talents. The 4 top mid-level Akatsuki organizations' combined attack strategy were able to contain the 2 5-star elders. As long as it is upgraded to a top strong high level, the combined attack tactics of 4 top-level high levels face a weaker 5 elders, such as the 24 situation of 5 saints and 4 saints, which is enough in an instant. Spend 9 billion wealth points to upgrade code numbers 1-9 to the top level. Now the combined attack strategy of the 4 Akatsuki organizations, even if 2 5 elders resist it, is enough to make the 2 5-star elders drink a pot. After upgrading the high-end combat power of the Dawn organization, Tong's wealth value is still 5.75 billion points. It turns out that Tong planned to use the more than 5 billion points of wealth to improve his own strength. But at this moment, the system's voice sounded in my mind, ding. Wealth value consumption reaches the upgradable system standard. Upgrade system, 57.5/10 billion points of wealth value. Tong was stunned. He could upgrade the system, which surprised him. Tong thought for a while and decided to keep the 5.75 billion points of wealth for the system upgrade when the time comes. On the other side, deep in Mariewa, in a flower house, Im's tall figure stood on the grass. The 5 elders are here, he muttered to himself, then slowly walked outside. There was a sword stuck on the ground where he left, and stuck in the sword was a wanted order for a member of the Dawn organization. There is also a blank piece of paper that reads, "Is it from the final island?" Soon, inside the palace, the 5 elders walked in slowly and looked at the high platform. On the high platform, there are 20 swords, which are the 20 people who first established the political power. Behind these swords, there is the throne of the sky. I saw M slowly walking out and appearing on the high platform. Then he sat on the throne. The 5 elders knelt down at the same time, with their faces on the ground. Lord M. The 4 saints and the 5 saints have returned and also informed the other saints about the matter. Im looked down at them, unable to see their faces or expressions clearly. But the 5 saints quickly said, "Lord Im, we didn't ask for mercy." What was said in the newspaper was all that Morgan Sky was making up. The 4 saints agreed, "Yes, Lord Im, we will not do anything that will disgrace the world government." Lord Im's tone was neutral, and he couldn't distinguish between male and female, and he laughed. "Elders stand up, I naturally know this is false." The 4 saints and the 5 saints breathed a sigh of relief when they heard this. They represent the people with the highest power in the world. If they do something that embarrasses the nobles, it means they no longer have to stay in this position. In the least case, they will be demoted to mortals, and in the worst case, they may be directly executed. Lord Im, who is at the peak of his power and is about to enter the highest realm, is only strong enough to kill any 5 elders present. Lord Im said calmly, "Let this matter go for now. Now that the matter has been exposed, it doesn't matter whether it is true or false. People in the world are willing to believe that even if it is false, they will comfort themselves and say that it is true. Those who don't believe it, even if it's true, will scoff and think it's impossible. The 5 old men all responded respectfully. This is the reason for your great reputation, Lord M. Let's get down to business. The live broadcast was interrupted. I didn't see the subsequent scenes. Please tell me about the situation at that time. The 4 saints and the 5 saints looked at each other, and then the 5 saints spoke and told the story in detail. Master Yimu's eyebrows moved slightly, and he was a little curious. Oh? So, all members of the Akatsuki organization know the combined attack method, whether it is high-end combat power or low-end combat power. That's right. The 4 saints nodded, their faces solemn. Not only that, but the combined attack technique has reached the point of pure fire. The combined attack of the 4 top mid-level warriors actually produced a power several times that of their own physical strength. That blow could only be blocked by the 2nd saint or a strong person like the 1st saint who tried his best. As soon as these words came out, everyone's pupils shrank slightly. Yisheng's heart was filled with waves. What does it mean? He is an extremely strong person with high-level strength. The 2nd saint is the same as himself, only slightly weaker than him, but he is also an extremely strong person with high-level strength. In other words, the combined attack of 4 top mid-level powerhouses actually dealt the high-level damage of the top powerhouses. This is so scary, right? At the previous stop, the Xiao organization showed strength, with 10 high-end combatants and nearly 3,000 mid-range combatants. In other words, these combat capabilities are enough to contain them. Isn't this too exaggerated? You know, why are strong people scary? That is, the low-end combat power of 350 is like an ant in front of a strong person who can be destroyed with his hands behind his back. But now, low-end combat power can resist the strong in this case. What is the point of being strong? But the 5 saints continued. The good news is that their fighting method consumes all the user's physical strength. In other words, as long as we resist the joint attack method of all their members, such a come on, they are the fish on the knife board. When the other 5 elders heard this, their eyes moved and they secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It turns out to be a move that uses up everything. No wonder it is so powerful. In this way, they can rest assured. As long as they evade all the combined attack tactics of the Akatsuki organization, won't the Akatsuki organization be abolished? Yisheng returned to his arrogant appearance and said with a smile, "Haha, it turns out that I have used all my moves. In this case, what does the Xiao organization have to fear? I am an extremely high-level person. I can resist alone and can easily block it by joining forces with the 2 saints. In this case, we will still have the power to fight. By then, those top-level experts in the Akatsuki organization will be powerless and we can easily kill them." I think it is necessary to launch a comprehensive roundup of the Akatsuki organization. This time we, the 5 elders, will all go out and kill them. Yisheng smiled proudly, as if he had already seen the destruction of the Dawn organization. Chapter 82, Deception. Please subscribe automatically! A few days passed in a flash. In the past few days, Xiao organization's recruitment has been booming, and there are still many recruitment tasks. Tong lamented, "When will the injustice be repaid? How come there are so many enemies in this world that we can't kill all of them?" On the side, Perona was very happy, hugging the doll's chest and rubbing it constantly. Because the use of combined attack tactics in this battle was huge. Tong's first team and the second team led by codenames 2 and 3 took a few days off. All tasks were handled by Wang Bu and C responsible. So Tong took some time off. For this reason, Perona couldn't wait to sneak out and go shopping. She bought many things, firstly clothes, and secondly various dolls. Her exclusive room was filled to the brim, and she almost had no place to sleep in. Now the huge and cute stuffed bear in her hand is Perona's favorite. she just can't put it down. If there are no enemies in the world, why would the Akatsuki organization still need to exist? Perona said while holding the puppet. Then the Xiao organization can't make money. If it can't make money, I won't have to buy my favorite clothes and cute stuffed bears. Tong looked at her with squinted eyes and kept looking at her like this. Perona may have felt Tong's gaze and looked at him. Tong touched his nose and said calmly, "This time, 100 million billies of the Xiao organization's public funds have been directly consumed. We have to settle this account." Perona had a bad feeling in her heart and shrank her neck. She wanted to refute, but after she spoke, she lacked the confidence and said in a non-Yuo tone, "I have been working as a maid for you for so long, doing all kinds of housework and cooking for you. These are what I deserve." Tong still looked at her and said leisurely, "Have you ever seen any servant who got a salary of 100 million in 2 months? Perona was speechless, thinking that it made sense. Is there? It seems not. But he was still arrogant, hiding behind the stuffed bear and saying, I am very cute. So it is normal for my salary to be higher." Tong ignored it and directly took out an agreement and handed it to Perona. "Sign it," Tong said. Perona looked at it and saw it written, "Prostitution agreement for 10 years. He immediately became unwilling and mumbled, 10 years. Impossible. At worst, I will go to the 3 masts of terror and give you back 1.2 billion Baileys or 100 million. Tong sneered in his heart, "Nizzy, you got on the pirate ship and still want to get off. Is that 1.2 billion still yours? It's mine." Now Tong's wealth has reached 7.6 billion points, and there is still 2.4 billion left. The 1.2 billion must be used to make up the number. As a result, there are only 1.2 billion points left to upgrade the system. How great is that? Tong tried it. He originally thought about fixing system bugs and using his own money to be hired by others, but obviously, this method was impossible. In fact, it's normal. Otherwise, Tong can just keep using the money and keep doing it, and he can bring all the members of the Xiao organization to the peak of being extremely powerful. This method didn't work, so Tong came up with the idea of Perona's 1.2 billion Bili. Now Perona has stayed in the Xiao organization for so long and has long been integrated into this big family. I don't care much about the past, so the revenge I wanted to take before has now disappeared. She no longer hired people, so Tong naturally wanted to hire them for her. Seeing Tong's indifferent gaze, Perona felt aggrieved, but she didn't dare to resist. "Let's sign a wine ticket. Anyway, I'm staying here in the Xiao organization now, and I also have to do laundry and cooking." Thinking of this, Perona felt inexplicably not aggrieved at all. Seeing Perona sign, Tong smiled inwardly. Done. Tong also has a plan for the next 1.2 billion points. Let Wenokuni pay again. You know, Momonosuke is not useful yet. Just tell Wenokuni and these samurai, I know where Momonosuke is. You hire the Akatsuki organization, and the Akatsuki organization promises to kill the kidnapper and rescue Momonosuke at the same time. Presumably the Wenokuni warriors are eager to hire the mission immediately. Thinking of this, Tong couldn't help but laugh out loud and said to the driver, "Let's go. Let's go to Wenokuni." The sun sets in the west and its afterglow shines on Wenokuni. This country that was originally riddled with holes has truly slowly recovered and returned to its former heyday. Although there is no clause from Kaido, all the warriors in the palace are frowning at this time. Momonosuke and others disappeared. Reizo came back from Zuo Wu, and they learned about Momonosuke's disappearance. The young master is missing, which is undoubtedly bad news for the retainers. At this moment, a laser flashed across the sky, and soon a tall and burly figure appeared at the entrance of the palace. Everyone was stunned. They were very familiar with lasers. This is the benefactor of Wenokuni's liberation, a person from the Akatsuki organization. Sure enough, the person who came was wearing a black robe and a black smiling mask. Xiaoju's eyes immediately brightened, and she hurriedly went out to greet him. Benefactor, why are you here? Please come in quickly. Others also restrained their worries and hurriedly went out to greet him. At the rear, it was the first time to see people from the Dawn organization. He was in Zoo before and did not go to the battlefield. After learning the news of Kaido's death, he hurried over from Zoo. People who saw the Akatsuki organization with their own eyes were shocked by the sharp Haki in him. This man is so strong. No wonder he was able to kill Kaido and easily escape from the hands of Rocks and 5 elders. Code Zero walked in slowly. Reizo quickly made a pop sound and knelt down on the ground. Thank you for saving Wano Kuni from the fire and water. Codename Zero smiled politely and said, It's no big deal. The Akatsuki organization is not a saint. We just take money to do things. Lei Zhang still looked grateful, although I say that, but in this world, there is nothing like the Akatsuki organization, which is still fearless in front of the most powerful people, and still kills Kaido. Zhao Hao Code Zero chuckled, said no more, and let Lei Zhang stand up. Wait until everyone is seated at the banquet. Jiyushimaru asked slowly, Benefactor, is there anything you need our help with when you come here this time? I heard that this time, Kaido, Big Mom and the remnants of Blackbeard were recruited by Rocks to form a new Rocks pirate. Also, it seems that all members of the 5 elders have been born, not yet. The 2 forces did not make any big fanfare this time. They were all doing it secretly, so these things are just hearsay. Jiyu Shinwen was not sure whether it was true or not. However, the authenticity of the news is very likely. So Shutenmaru felt that this time the Akatsuki organization wanted them to help. Code Zero chuckled and shook his head. I came here this time to inform you that our Akatsuki organization knows the whereabouts of young master Wano Kuni. As soon as these words came out, everyone in Europe was stunned. Chapter 83. Continue to deceive 15 billion Baileys. Please subscribe automatically. Everyone came back to their senses, with excitement on their faces. Really? Jiyushimaru asked quickly. Codename Zero nodded. Please rest assured that what our Xiao organization has determined is 100% accurate. In the submarine, Tong said to himself, Leozi is also a loyal Pirates fan after all, can you be sure? To be honest, if it wasn't for the system upgrade as soon as possible, Tong would not bother to care about Momonosuke's life and death. Wano Kuni, Palace C. Everyone was extremely excited when they received a positive reply from Code Zero. Benefactor, you not only liberated Wano Kuni, but also told us great good news. You are the savior of our Wano Kuni. Xiaoju's face was full of joy. Code Zero did not respond and said with a heavy tone, however, the matter is far from as simple as you think. Although I know your young master's current location, he is currently imprisoned. That man belongs to the Celestial Dragons. As soon as these words came out, everyone's faces changed color. It actually involves Celestial Dragons? If it's other people, it's easy to say that warriors like Wano Kuni are also very powerful. As long as they are not the world's top forces, they can all teach them how to behave. Dare to kidnap young master Wano Kuni? Seeking death. But now, the opponent is Celestial Dragons and they are not something they can deal with. Now, Mariewa has a complete blockade and it is difficult for 303 to enter and then join the Akatsuki organization to kill the Celestial Dragons. Now they are all under attack, and they are so cowardly that it is impossible for them to come out. And there are 5 elders sitting deep in Mariewa. 5 extremely powerful men, they will die if they go. Tong doesn't care about the misunderstanding of the Wano Kuni warriors. Anyway, he didn't say anything. Doflamingo is the Celestial Dragons. As for their own misunderstanding, thinking that Momonosuke was taken to Mariewa, this was what they thought, not what they said. Everyone looked solemn, not knowing what to do. The originally lively banquet was no longer there, only solemnity. After a while, Shutenmaru gritted his teeth and said, Wano Kuni cannot live without his master. The young master must be rescued. Even if he dies, he must rescue the young master. That's right. Lei Zhang also agreed. Others also made up their minds and agreed one after another. In the submarine, Tong was speechless when he saw this scene. What do these people mean? Want to fight on your own? Tong quickly asked Codename Zero to start setting the pace. At the banquet, Codename Zero spoke in a calm tone and spoke with persuasion. Although you are powerful, you are still not enough in front of the celestial dragons. You must know that behind the celestial dragons, there are 5 elders supporting you. Such everyone was speechless. Codename Zero continued, if you rush to save yourselves, not only will your young master not be saved, but you may also lose your life. Furthermore, even if you are lucky enough to be rescued, what happens next? You have offended the celestial dragons. Wenokuni will also be unable to gain a foothold in this world and will attract a crazy counterattack from the world government. Why everyone's faces showed a look of loneliness. Of course they know this, but the young master must be rescued. Otherwise, Wenokuni will have no owner, and what will be the point of liberation? What's the point of living like these retainers? I feel sad because all the reasons are because I and others are too weak. Otherwise, Kaido would not have been able to control Wenokuni in the first place, the young master would not have had to seek refuge in Zoo, and he would not have been captured by the celestial dragons. In the submarine, Tong looked at them as if they were ready to die and would fight even if they died. Cursing wildly, are these people fools? It's clear that an extremely powerful person is right in front of you, but you don't take advantage of it, and you keep thinking of solving it on your own. Do you do things without thinking? Sure enough, samurai only know how to kill. Before you do something, think about it. That's all. Originally Tong wanted them to beg him, but now it seems that he has no choice but to tell them directly. At the banquet, Code Zero nodded secretly after hearing Tong's words. Then he said to everyone, actually I came here to tell you this news. Firstly, it is for the sake of young Master Wenokuni, and secondly, it is to prevent you from doing stupid things. You are unable to fight against the odds, but our Akatsuki organization can. When everyone heard this, they all looked at Code Zero. Codename Zero continued, you can actually hire our Akatsuki organization again, and we will kill the people who imprisoned your young master for you. In this way, you can easily rescue your young master. As soon as these words came out, everyone was enlightened. That's right. If we can't deal with it, isn't there a force behind it? Everyone's eyes were bright, but then they sighed again. Shutenmaru sighed. That's it. This is our Wenokuni's own business. The Akatsuki organization has helped us once. How can we let the Akatsuki organization take action again this time? Inside the submarine, Tong wanted to step forward and slap Shutenmaru twice. Are you pretentious? I'm not here for you, Wenokuni. I'm here to upgrade the system. Brother, what threat can just one Doflamingo pose to Akatsuki? Even though I am angry, I still want to continue to cheat. Gyushimaru, you are making a fool of yourself by saying this. Codename Zero suddenly had a bad tone, as if he was a little angry, and he said slowly, you have said before that from now on, Wenokuni will be on good terms with the Akatsuki organization. In this case, we are friends. Friends should help each other, right? Everyone nodded, and Code Zero continued, in this case, you can hire us to do this. Think about it. The Akatsuki organization has always been fighting against the celestial dragons. Even if it offends them again, what's the harm? But you are different. You have a bright side, so you cannot offend the world government, otherwise Wenokuni will inevitably suffer revenge. Everyone continued to nod. So you can only give in now, and wait until the Akatsuki organization needs you, and then you can suddenly come out. In this way, the world government can be caught off guard. They don't even know that the Akatsuki organization has friends like you. You are the variable in the future war between the Akatsuki organization and the world government. You are the hope that our Akatsuki organization can win. This is an impassioned statement, and it means that if Akatsuki goes to war with the world government in the future, it will be the same without Wano Kuni's help. Everyone's faces were filled with fighting spirit. It makes sense, very much. We are the variable in the future war, and our sudden appearance can catch the world government by surprise. Shutemaru's face was serious. You are right. In this case, let's hire the Akatsuki organization to do it. We, Wano Kuni, will be impressed by our combat power first. If the Akatsuki organization goes to war with the world government in the future, we will help the Akatsuki organization. Inside the submarine, Tong shook his head, finally finishing fooling these guys. At the banquet, Shutemaru continued, this mission involves young Master Wano Kuni, and the opponent is the Celestial Dragons, so we, Wano Kuni, hired Akatsuki for 15 billion billy. Firstly, it is to thank the Xiao organization for the news and for the sake of us Wano Kuni, and secondly, it is also for the friendship between us. What do you think? In the submarine, Tong was overjoyed when he heard this. Very good, really good. Originally, he planned to swindle 1.2 billion billy just by killing a Doflamingo. But now the other party bids 15 billion billy, which is more than 10 times higher than expected. Only a fool would refuse, right? Chapter 84 Fusion Technique. Please subscribe automatically. As for Doflamingo, Tong doesn't have to worry about it at all. Just hand it over to other branches. 15 billion billy plus Perona's 1.2 billion. This time the harvest totaled 16.2 billion wealth points. To Tong's surprise, Perona also hired Doflamingo. This made Tong feel even happier. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, sure enough, I am a lucky person. Doflamingo, who is not even a top powerhouse, naturally has no pressure to solve it. By noon the next day, Tong's 16.2 billion was successfully received. As for Wano Kuni, after Code Zero brought Momonosuke back to Wano Kuni officially became the Akatsuki organization and its external force. Like the Arthur Kingdom ruled by Arthur Joe, it is not open to the public. By the way, with the support of the Dawn organization, Arthur Kyo's country's strength once surged, and now it is one of the most powerful countries in the world. The world status has been improved, and the right to speak in the world has been gained. Of course, these are just extraneous remarks. The external side is managed by the codename one who has infiltrated the intelligence organization. Tong, the hands-off boss, will not have to worry about these things. In the submarine, Tong went straight to the room. Now that the money required for upgrading his system has been reached, it can officially be upgraded. Back in the room, Tong looked at the system interface. Wealth value, 21.95 billion points. Ding! To reach the wealth point required for system upgrade, do you want to spend 10 billion to upgrade? Yes, Tong said directly. I saw that the interface in front of me gradually went black, as if the computer was shut down. Then, a line of text appeared in the middle of the black screen. System upgrade in progress. Tong waited quietly. I don't know how long it will take to upgrade. Fortunately, the upgrade is very quick, only taking about 5 minutes. The next moment, just like when the computer is turned on, the system interface lights up again. This time, the system interface is very simple. There is a menu bar on the left. The first option is Post Personal Information. Tong clicks on it, and an interface pops up immediately. Host, Tong possess fruit abilities, replace fruit development level, 200%. Note, 4 fruit abilities can be stored and 2 abilities can be used at the same time. Wind fruit development level, 130%. Kirin fruit development level, 100%. Master Haki, observation Haki perfect level, note, can briefly predict the future for 5 minutes, and can read minds. Armament Haki special grade. Conqueror's Haki perfect level. Emission Haki Special Grade Master a skill, Devil's Evil Eye, expands an absolute field within a radius of 100 meters around itself, and can affect friendly forces. Time, 1 minute. 1050 years of enlightenment on Kendo visual sharing. The following are some skills for loyal ministers. Tong skip it. These are just to look at the perspective and communicate without distance, nothing more. What interests Tong is the following line. Host strength evaluation, the pinnacle of the most powerful. This made Tong stunned. He was actually at the peak of his power. This assessment was something Tong didn't expect, but it was reasonable. You have to know that no one in this world can compete with him in terms of swordsmanship, haki, or the level of fruit development. Tong suppressed the excitement in his heart and exited the personal information interface. Looking at the next option is the carousel lottery, which is the same as before. Below is a list of information about members of the Xiao organization, which is nothing interesting. Below that, there are all gray options that you can't click on. Tong frowned slightly, just like that. 100/C and that's it? Doesn't it mean that I spent 10 billion to make the page look better, but there is no more strength judgment? At this moment, the system's voice sounded in Tong's mind. Ding! The system upgrade is completed, and the reward is host fusion technique. Tong's eyes moved. Fusion technique. What does it mean? Tong quickly looked at the introduction. Fusion technique introduction. Xiao members of an organization with equal strength can fuse and then enhance their own strength. Tong's eyes immediately brightened after watching it. In other words, it's like Goku and Vegeta in 7 Dragon Balls. He quickly looked into the small world in his hands. Now part of the Akatsuki organization. After adding code names respectively, there are also code names 8 and 9. The remaining ones are 236 people with Vice Admiral strength and above, and 487 people with Vice Admiral strength. Tong quickly fused 487 people and used fusion technique. I saw that in the small world, 487 Akatsuki members turned into lasers and converged into a huge light group. Please give me flowers. This scene is somewhat similar to using combined attack strategy. Soon, the light group dispersed and a figure suddenly appeared in the center of the light group. Ding! Fusion successful. Can be disintegrated at any time. Please host enter the name. Tong touched his chin. You can't give me a name. In the past, when the system gave these people to themselves, they all had code names, but with 3,000 people, it was impossible for Tong to give them names, right? So we have always used the code numbers 0-3000 to call them. Thinking about it now, it was indeed too hasty. Tong thought about it and decided to give it a title similar to Haki. War King. This is domineering enough. Ding. Title, King of War. Strength, beginner level of extremely strong. After seeing the strength of the fusion, Tong was slightly surprised, but it was still reasonable. Back then, in the Battle of All Nations, members of the Akatsuki with a strength of about 800 Vice Admirals struck combined attack strategy to directly destroy the ability used by rocks. This also shows that that strike was equivalent to the upper-level strike of an extremely strong person hit. Based on this, it can be judged that when more than 450 Vice Admiral level or above used the combined strike strategy to directly injure rocks with one blow, the strength of the same blow was higher than that of the strongest. And now, if the 236 Vice Admiral level and above are combined, their strength will be around the extreme beginner level. Tong did not hesitate and directly combined the 236 members of Akatsuki who were Vice Admiral level or above. They could disintegrate immediately, so there was no need to worry. Ding! The combination is complete. It can be disassembled at any time. Please host enter the name. Ting Wu. Ding! Title, Marshal King, Strength, beginner level of extremely strong. This result is not much different from what Tong guessed. Tongsi, other branches can also be integrated by then, so there is no rush. As for this, I will come when the need arises. This upgrade, although the gray functions are not available, rewards a good fusion technique. This 10 billion points of wealth is definitely worth spending. Now Tong has a lot of high-end combat capabilities. Code name 0, extremely strong person with mid-level strength. The King of Marshal and the King of War are the first level of strength of the extremely powerful. Code names 8 and 9, the top strong and high level. Mouth, Chapter 85. The Four Kings are born. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation fusion technique is much easier to use than combined attack technique. You must know that after merging, the combat power can be unleashed depending on the strength, but the combined attack combat method uses everything in one blow to explode, and then there is no combat power. Tong is very satisfied. This system upgrade has yielded huge benefits. The remaining wealth value is 11.95 billion points. Tong thought for a while and spent 4 billion directly to upgrade Code 8 and the two of them to the pinnacle of top powerhouses. Then let two people use fusion technique. Ding. Title, Pluton, Strength, extremely strong mid-level. At this point, the Xiao organization's main department and all members have entered the era of extreme power. Tong gave Codename 0 a separate title, King of Zhu. Xiao, the four kings of the organization, are born. Time 407 flew by like a flash, and several days passed in a flash. In a hospital bed on a certain island, Morgans was extremely angry. He was assassinated by the CPO intelligence agency. This is really angry. Fortunately, he was lucky enough to save a life. The person in charge of CPO Cipher POL today is one of the 5 elders. It must have been the old guy's instruction. Isn't Layazi just exaggerating? As for killing me, damn it, isn't it normal for news people to use gimmicks to attract people's attention? As for this stunt going too far, it was complete bullshit, and it embarrassed the 5 elders, so he didn't care. Anyway, that's what news people are like. If you have the ability, kill Xiao. Wouldn't this save your face? The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. It was obvious that I was not wrong. With anger on his face, Bird directly picked up the phone bug in front of the hospital bed. In this tone, he intends to come back with revenge, otherwise he will not be happy. After all, he is also a respectable person in the world. Soon, the call was connected. Morgans cursed, "Hey, is this the Akatsuki organization?" "Yes. Do you want to hire me?" "That's right." Morgans shouted, 20 billion Baileys, hiring you to kill the 5 saints among the 5 elders. The one who is currently in charge of CP0 Cipher POL. Morgans basically yelled. It was like a man was filled with grief and anger. Being assassinated made him feel aggrieved and aggrieved. Can't journalists do gimmicks anymore? How can they make money like this? He continued to shout loudly, "As long as I can kill that old guy, money is not an issue." "So be it. I'll give you another 5 billion. A total of 25 billion Baileys. Kill the 5 saints." "No problem, sir." In the submarine, Tong immediately became excited when he heard the big order. Immediately send 4 teams to the meeting place to collect the deposit and sign the employment agreement. And he went to Marine headquarters. According to the news from Code 1, the target mission, the 5 saints, are now at G5 at the Marine headquarters with the 4 saints. The 2 5 elders, for the current Akatsuki organization, are just like sprinkles. Therefore, in order to hurry up, Tong did not call other branches over and just went to the main department. Marine headquarters at this time, the 5 saints and the 4 saints were sitting in the gang's office. The two chatted with each other. The 5 saints said, "This time, Master Yemu is particularly concerned about the Akatsuki organization. Can you not be concerned?" The Akatsuki organization suddenly appeared and broke the balance of the world. Lord Im is worried that the Akatsuki organization will be the next Raja. The 4 saints spoke slowly. Roger almost succeeded at first, but fortunately Lord M took action in time, and Roger was defeated. Roger knew that he was no match for Lord M, so he simply surrendered to Marine, told the secret, and let people continue to chase the truth. I hope someone can finally step up there and reveal the secret to the public. The 5 saints were stunned. You mean, Lord M is afraid that the Akatsuki organization will reveal that secret? That's right. But the 5 saints frowned. The Akatsuki organization is a killer organization and has no interest in the final island. The 4 saints shook their heads. Who knows? What if Xiao is a killer organization? It's just a lie. It's just using the name of the killer organization. In fact, it's secretly looking for and collecting historical texts. Be careful and you won't make a big mistake. The Akatsuki organization must be eradicated. If one day that secret is made public, we will be attacked by people in this world, and the world government will no longer have prestige. 5 sages are speechless. This is indeed a very serious matter. The 4 saints took a sip of tea and continued. In a few days, the World Summit will be held ahead of schedule. The 5 saints were stunned. Master M decided. The 4 saints nodded. Yesterday, the first saint told me that this World Summit is to strengthen the belonging of various countries to world government. Nowadays, there are only 3 top maritime forces, Hanfa, Rocks, and the Revolutionary Army. The rest have been basically destroyed by the Akatsuki organization. This is actually a good thing for us. Countries are no longer controlled by other worlds, and we can take the opportunity to win over the rulers of these countries. In this way, the world will be united and the Akatsuki organization will lose the support of the people. See how they can still have employment tasks. By then, Akatsuki will be like a rat crossing the street, and everyone will scream for beatings. After the 4 saints finished speaking, they laughed. He picked up the teacup again and drank it in one gulp. The Xiao organization wants to fight with whomever it wants, but it doesn't have the qualifications yet. If we are really pushed into a hurry, Master Yimu will take action, and the Akatsuki organization will inevitably be destroyed. Under the waters near G5 Marine Headquarters, Yi Tong and others have already arrived at the Marine Headquarters. They only need to wait for the 4th Department to get the 4.9 deposit before they can launch an attack on the Marine Headquarters. Half an hour later, Code Number 6 said to Yi Tong, Master, the deposit has been received. Yi Tong nodded. Very good, the system tasks have also been established. Everyone, let's go. Xiao, the 4 kings of the organization responded in unison. At the same time, on a high platform at Marine Headquarters, one person put the projection snail on it and said to the phone bug in his hand, President, the live broadcast equipment is set up. On the other side, Morgans was injured but very excited. The Xiao organization has already taken the deposit from me and will soon attack the Marine Headquarters. By then, you will be broadcast live all over the world. The target mission this time can be one of the 5 elders, the 5 saints, and it will definitely cause a sensation in the world. Chapter 86 The 4 Kings Appear. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation around the world. The sudden appearance of live broadcasts has made people confused. Hey, come and see. The newspaper office has started live broadcast again. Live broadcast? Is there another war? How do you know? This live broadcast of Marine Headquarters is a bit baffling. Marine Headquarters? What's the live broadcast at Marine Headquarters? Is there any big news at Marine? I don't know. We'll find out later. Sabayati Island, Rayleigh's figure appears high again. Looking at the live broadcast, I couldn't help but grin. He took off the wine bottle from his waist, put it aside, and sat down. Looks like there's another good show to watch. Let's go to the theater and watch the theater. Although she doesn't know what it is, Rayleigh believes that something big will happen later. The second half of New World, in a certain sea area. The fat man ate the chicken legs and rushed into a room, shouting, Captain, there is another live broadcast at the newspaper office. The red-haired man heard this and asked, Is it the Akatsuki organization again? I don't know. It was broadcast live from the Marine headquarters. I don't know what happened. The red-haired man stopped asking and walked out quickly. That Morgan's guy is 24. Generally speaking, live broadcasts are big events, otherwise he wouldn't go live. Deep in the New World. Inside a newly built palace. Rox sat on the throne, his originally pale face finally gained some color. After these few days of recuperation, he had recovered a lot. This time, Katakuri walked in. Rox still had his eyes closed and asked slowly, "What's the matter?" In order to avenge their mothers, Katakuri and Smoothie chose to join Rox and became his lieutenants. Also included are Blackbeard's Shiryu and Basapisa, and Kaido's Lincoln Lizzie and Quinn. Others, some dead, some injured, some alive, were killed by Akatsuki out of the shadows and chose to retire. Katakuri spoke slowly. "Captain, the newspaper office has launched a live broadcast of the world." Rox slowly opened his eyes and frowned. "The Akatsuki organization started another war?" Katakuri said solemnly, "It should be, and this time the battlefield should be at the Marine headquarters." Rox's deep eyes were non-committal. "I'll go take a look." On the other side, somewhere is an island. Revolutionary Army headquarters. Sabo broke into the office holding a projector phone and said quickly, "Commander, there is a live broadcast." The dragon raised his head and was surprised again. It has only been a few days, and the Dawn organization is going to fight again? Soon, Sabo set up the projection phone and then projected the live broadcast. Long glanced at it and said in surprise again, "This time, are you planning to get Marine?" "It should be," Sabo said. "However, with the current strength of the Akatsuki organization, unless Wu takes action, don't make trouble at the Marine headquarters." "Isn't it a bit too much?" Long touched his chin. According to the informant, Marine currently only has 2 elders. With the joint attack strategy organized by Akatsuki before, as long as everyone is mobilized this time, it is still possible to contain the 2 elders. On the screen, 4 figures soon appeared on the skyline of Marine Plaza coming. Akatsuki organization appears. As expected, it is the Akatsuki organization, haha. I said that as long as it is a big live broadcast, it must be the Akatsuki organization. Is the Akatsuki organization planning to kill Marine this time? Absolutely, otherwise why would he appear at the Marine headquarters? I don't know which admiral is so unlucky. But everyone discovered something different. The 4 Akatsuki members who appeared this time had 2 more words behind the black robe. They are King Zhu, Pluton, King Wu, and King War. What is that? Is it the title of these people? 4 kings, they look so powerful. Sharp? Is the Akatsuki organization looking for death? 4 people think that by proclaiming themselves kings, they are really kings? 4 people dare to break into the Marine headquarters. Isn't this asking for death? That's right. The Akatsuki organization was able to escape successfully before because of the combined attack tactics. Now there are 4 of us, so what can the combined attack tactics do? As long as they are blocked, these 4 members of the Akatsuki organization will become flesh and blood. Big bosses in the world also frown slightly. As the Xiao organization given its members self-titles, the 4 kings are so arrogant. 4 people just want to attack Marine headquarters. At the Marine headquarters, sirens immediately sounded. Soon, countless Marines, fully armed, gathered in the square, and for a while, the square was filled with darkness. Later, Vice Admiral appeared. Then, the 4 saints and the 5 saints walked out one after another. Behind them were 4 admirals. The faces of the 4 saints and the 5 saints were full of solemn expressions, but after they came out, they frowned slightly. Originally, they thought that all members of the Akatsuki organization were dispatched, at least on the scale of the battle to kill Blackbeard, but when they came out, they saw that there were only 4 people. I couldn't help but laugh in my heart, but I didn't dare to let down my guard. Maybe there was an ambush. The four saints raised their eyes and glanced at the four Akatsuki members. He smiled and said, Xiao, why bother being so secretive? The other members have to hide and come out directly to set up an ambush. This is not like the usual style of the Akatsuki organization. King Ju sneered. Without anyone else, 4 people from the Akatsuki organization are enough to deal with Marine. When the 5 saints heard this, they couldn't help but laugh as if they had heard a big joke. 4 kings are enough. Xiao, you proclaimed yourself king. Do you really think you are invincible? The hype in the newspapers really made you forget yourself. After saying that, his eyes flashed fiercely. Revolutionary Army Headquarters. Sabo looked in disbelief. Akatsuki, is the organization crazy? Just 4 people going to cause trouble at the Marine headquarters? 4 people can't kill anyone using the combined attack strategy. There are 2 5 elders here. Long was also puzzled. Why did the Xiao organization only send 4 people this time? There is probably a backup plan. For example, other members were hiding in the dark, and at the critical moment, they used joint attack tactics to kill Marine and catch him off guard. Sabo nodded. It's probably like this. The Akatsuki organization has become sinister. Deep in the new world. Rox couldn't help but sneer. Enough for 4 people. Who would believe it? If there is no combined attack strategy, what is the Akatsuki organization? They must have laid an ambush secretly, preparing to take action at the critical moment. Such a hidden method is still secretive. Shout. Rox spat. When the injury is healed, I will definitely seek revenge from you. Chapter 87. Is this a dream? Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation. But so far, the highest combat power of the Akatsuki organization is only the top-level powerhouses. Unless that nothing takes action, who else can have the top-level powerhouses? In the eyes of the 4 saints and the 5 saints, the 4 kings are a joke. Want to do something that is more revealing? Oh, do you think we are idiots? The 5 saints looked at the 4 kings and said, with us 5 elders here, we won't let you run wild in the Marine headquarters and want to kill our Marine people. You are not qualified now. King Ju said calmly. This time the target, one of the 5 elders, the intervener, will die. As soon as these words came out, everyone present was stunned. What's the meaning? This time, it was not Marine's vice admiral or admiral who was killed, but the 5 elders, the 5 saints. Previously, the Akatsuki organization killed Kaido and Big Mom. In people's opinion, the target this time should also be a certain admiral. But what everyone didn't expect was that this time Xiao's target turned out to be the 5 saints. One of the most powerful people in the world, the 5 saints. The audience in front of the live broadcast was even more excited. They didn't have the mentality of the big guys, but felt that the Xiao organization came with 4 people this time, but threatened to kill the most powerful people, which was really ridiculous. Is the Xiao organization crazy? Forget it that 4 people came here, but now they are saying that they want to kill one of the 5 elders because I must have been confident before, but now I have lost confidence. I really thought the Akatsuki organization was invincible. Sit back and watch Xiao organization get slapped in the face. Come on, place your bets. Betting on Marine's victory is 1 for 1. And betting on the Akatsuki organization's victory is 10 for 1. I bet on Marine. I also bet on Marine. Although the Akatsuki organization had a great record before, it's just ridiculous now. That's right, I bet on Marine. If I put down all my money and pay 1 for 1, I can make a lot of money. Except for some people who have a good impression of the Xiao organization, others are basically not optimistic about the Xiao organization at all. Even those who admire the Akatsuki organization actually feel in their hearts that the Akatsuki organization is being funny this time, right? Revolutionary Army Headquarters. Sabo was shocked. The target this time is actually the 5 elders. Who hired it? Our Revolutionary Army hasn't even taken action yet. and someone else hired Xiao to organize and kill the 5 elders in advance. On the side, Koala rolled his eyes and said dissatisfied, "Is this the point?" "The point is this time the Akatsuki organization only sent 4 people. How can they kill the 5 elders? Isn't this nonsense?" Saba waved his hand. "Maybe Wu will take action?" Somewhere in the sea, outside the Dawn organization, Zephyr looked at the live broadcast screen and couldn't help but said, "What was Wu thinking this time? Only 4 people were sent to the Marine headquarters. Aren't they going to die? Let's go to support." On the side, Bince said, "Master Wu is very confident every time he takes action. I think this time is no exception. Maybe these 4 kings are using it as a cover. Others in the secret are preparing to use combination attack tactics while they are not paying attention." Yin also nodded. "That's right. After all, the target we want to kill this time is the 5 elders. It's a bit difficult to kill them head-on. We must use some means, and a sneak attack is the best opportunity." Marine headquarters. The 5 elders couldn't help laughing as if they heard some joke. The 5 saints laughed the loudest. "4 kings, you said you want to kill me? Are you daydreaming? Do you want to kill me, the most powerful man in the world?" I admit that the Akatsuki organization's combined attack method is indeed powerful, but it is not qualified for ultimate killing. The 5 elders were actually not panicked at all. Mariewa and even the 3 saints were on their way over quickly. As long as they prevent members of the Akatsuki organization from using the combined attack method during this period, the Akatsuki organization will be finished. "You will know later whether it is qualified or not," King Ju said. Then, with a bang, he shot out. At the same time, Pluton also took action. The speed of the 2 was about the same, and the 2 lasers passed directly across. "Seeking death!" The 5 saints shouted. The 4 saints also drew their swords and prepared to take action, but were stopped by the 5 saints. "They are just 2 top experts. Although I am a beginner of extreme power, it is enough to deal with the 2 of them. 5 saints, just watch quietly as I kill these 2 people. By the way, you can also pay attention to the surroundings to prevent them from using combined attack magic in the dark." When the 4 saints heard this, they felt it made sense. It's just that the 2 top experts are really no match for the 5 saints. Just pay attention to your surroundings. The 5 saints' eyes flashed fiercely, and he stepped out, then stepped forward, and his figure also shot away. The ground immediately shattered. In the blink of an eye, he was about to meet King Ju head-on rear. Akainu sneered. "The Xiao organization is overestimating its capabilities. Hee. This time it can be regarded as quenching the flames of the Akatsuki organization. Otherwise, every time they would win, they would almost forget how much they weighed. 4 of them dare to face Marine directly. Do you really think Marine is a fool?" Above the sky, the 5 saints, King Ju, and Pluton are about to meet. "Calling yourself king? I want to see what you are capable of calling yourself king, huh?" With a cold snort, the next moment, the entire right leg of the 5 saints was attached to Haki, and black lightning was already flying across Haki. He planned to resolve the battle quickly to avoid being attacked by surprise. Heavens, broken legs! There was a whistling, with a sound of breaking through the air, and a leg was whipped out. This kick made the void tremble. On the opposite side, King Ju and Pluton didn't say a word. The palm of your hand turns into a knife, and the sword shines in your eyes. The next moment, the knife and the foot met. Below, everyone felt that the Akatsuki organization was dead. But the next moment, a scene that surprised everyone appeared. In everyone's mind, the scene of King Ju flying out did not happen. Instead, the feet of the 5 saints were cut off. Above the sky, the faces of the 5 saints were filled with disdain and coldness. But blood was splashing everywhere. Before he could react to the situation, he saw a leg passing in front of him. "Huh? Did I kick you and break your leg? Rubbish is rubbish. Without joint attack tactics you have nothing. Just as he was thinking this, the next moment he felt a sharp pain. What situation is this? That's my leg. My leg was cut off and my tongue was cut off. How is it possible? The pupils were dilated and this scene seemed like a dream. This extremely strong man had his leg cut off. Below, the four saints were as calm as before, their eyes widened. What did I see? He suddenly felt a little dazed and unreal. Is this a dream? Chapter 88. Our Xiao organization is awesome. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation at the Marine headquarters. 100,000 Marine soldiers stared. The scene they originally imagined in their minds was that the self-proclaimed Akatsuki would be kicked out of by the elders of the five saints, and it was even possible that he would die directly. But now this scene is so weird that it makes people feel that this is not reality. When the elders of the five saints came face to face with him, their thighs were chopped off. This is so incredible. Aren't the five saints extremely powerful? Made a mistake? But it's impossible to be killed if you make a mistake. Haki is possessed by Haki. The extremely strong Haki can actually be broken by the top strong. You can't break the defense at all, right? There was an uproar in the square and a sound of disbelief. Some people even rubbed their eyes and looked towards the sky, but the scene was still the same. Then they rubbed their eyes again and looked again to confirm that it was real. Audiences from all over the world watching this live broadcast were even more wide-eyed. Is this a TV show I'm watching? This live broadcast can't be fake. One of the five elders had his leg cut off. What is the background of this Zhu King? He can actually break through defenses and become an extremely powerful person. This means that it is clear that the Zhu King of the 233 Dawn organization is also extremely powerful, and his strength is still higher than that of the five saints elders. Poaching? How much strength does the Xiao organization hide? Every time it refreshes our worldview, damn it. Isn't it a big loss this time? I lost all my belongings. The world is about to turn upside down. I said, these four kings of the Akatsuki organization are all top-notch, right? Who knows? But I think it's very possible. With the Akatsuki organization's usual behavior, I'm afraid that this time, there are only four people here, so they must be very sure, and they are all top-notch. Snoring sounded as they all swallowed their saliva. Why has the world government been able to stand for so many years? Why do the celestial dragons dare to be so rampant and dominate the world? Because there is a backer behind him. There are five extremely powerful people behind him. But now, the Dawn organization also has four top players. This strength is enough to dominate the world. On the sea heading to Marine headquarters, Zephyr's eyes widened and the two students beside him, Ain and Bince, were also dumbfounded. That's called a dumbfounded chicken. What is going on? What is this? Nayubai. Zephyr couldn't help but spit out two sentences. I'm impressed. Forgive me for being a rough person and I can only walk around the world with raw materials. As an open external organization to the Akatsuki organization, to be honest, they actually don't know much about the Akatsuki organization at all. Such strength was beyond their expectation. Although the Xiao organization is indeed powerful, they also hope that the Akatsuki organization can win, but the scene in front of them is too exaggerated, right? After a while, Zephyr laughed loudly. We Xiao are indeed crouching tigers, hidden dragons, and we all have extremely strong people. Sure enough, we are just lying. Haha, are we awesome? Zephyr looked at the two students. The teacher's original choice was right? To change this miserable world, we can rely on organizations like Xiao. We can honor this name and change the world. Akatsuki, the Four Kings. From now on, the Akatsuki organization will exist at the top of the pyramid in this world. On the other side, the Revolutionary Army headquarters. Sabo and Koala opened their mouths wide with shock on their faces. On the side, Long remained calm, with a look of shock in his condensed eyes. Koala's voice was trembling. Sabo, pinch my face to see if I'm dreaming. Sabo can still hear what she said at this moment. Commander, there are actually extremely powerful people in the Akatsuki organization. Isn't this incredible? I really didn't expect it. The Akatsuki organization is so powerful. Sek has the combat power of an extremely powerful person, and there are still 4 people on the field. This combat power is completely higher than our revolutionary army, right? Commander, your strength is only that of an extremely strong person, right? Next to him, Long raised his eyebrows and cursed secretly in his mind. In other words, an extremely powerful person? That's it. Who in this world has reached such a state? There are only a handful of them, right? What the second-in-command said was like cabbage. It's all Xiao's fault. Twice, he hit the extremely strong man in the face twice, making him look like a waste. For a moment, he suddenly felt that people like 5 elders and rocks were rubbish, and they were a disgrace to the most powerful people. I thought so, but with a solemn look on my face. This shouldn't be hidden. I remember seeing that Ju King before. He is the one with the highest combat power every time the Akatsuki organization appears. I used to think he was just a top-notch strongman. This time, I didn't expect him to be extremely powerful. I don't know if it's to hide his strength or to say it's improved. It's okay to hide this, but if it's promotion, it's really scary. In just 2 months, he has been promoted from a top powerhouse to one who can cut off the leg of one of the 5 elders with one move. Akatsuki is really a monster. Sabo nodded, agreeing with his commander's statement. The Akatsuki organization is really a monster. At first, Sabo felt that his strength was considered to be a high-end combat capability in the Akatsuki organization, but now he is just a younger brother to the 4 kings of the Akatsuki organization. But a smile appeared on Sabo's face. The stronger the Akatsuki organization is, it is also a good thing for us. Originally, we planned to use the Akatsuki organization's combined attack strategy to cooperate with our revolutionary army to see if we could hurt the vitality of the world government. But now, the Akatsuki organization has such combat power, our revolutionary army has no use at all. Just take action, hire it, and hand it over directly to the Xiao organization. Long nodded, but also said with some concern, the Akatsuki organization is a killer organization and only accepts tasks. If Marine can shamelessly hire Akatsuki, we must also be careful of the Akatsuki organization taking action against us. Several people were silent and said nothing. Deep in the new world. Boom! A sound. The throne cracked. This is impossible. This is impossible. Rock's eyes were bloodshot and his face looked extremely ferocious. Why does the Akatsuki organization have such extreme combat power? This is impossible. Rox seemed to be a little crazy at this moment and kept roaring. Since the last time, I was injured by Akatsuki organization and I feel hatred towards Akatsuki. He must avenge this revenge, but now the Akatsuki organization has extremely strong combat power. This is undoubtedly a blow to Rox hateful. Rox gritted his teeth and stared at the screen. Chapter 89. The ending of Using Iron Body is tragic. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation. The Xiao organization has extremely strong combat capabilities, which undoubtedly proves that his idea of revenge is ridiculous. Rox still has a way to deal with the all-consuming combined attack strategy. As long as members of the Akatsuki organization cannot use it, it will be fine. On the side, Abasapisa was horrified when he saw this scene. He originally chose to join Blackbeard and now joins Rox because he likes tyranny. So he needs a backer, a strong backer. In this way, the people below will not dare to react. But now, the force he joined, Rox, has a grudge against Xiao. That is undying hatred, which means that Rox will go to war with the Akatsuki organization one day in the future. Fortunately, it was said before that Rox has extremely strong combat power. Even if he goes to war with the Akatsuki organization, it will be nothing if he has the support of such a big boss. The most powerful people are the most powerful people no matter what. So what if Xiao organization has combined attack strategy? As long as there are not enough people, there is nothing they can do to the Lux Pirates. But now, there are extremely powerful people in the Dawn organization, and there are still 4 of them. This made Abasa scared. He is just a rookie in front of Jiuding, and he can be instantly defeated with one move. In the first 2 battles with the Akatsuki organization, fortunately the Akatsuki organization didn't pay much attention to him, so he didn't die. Now, Lux is basically unable to protect them. If there was another war with the Akatsuki organization, would I be as lucky as the previous 2 times? Didn't you see that 2 of the first 3 disasters were killed? He moved slightly, wanting to leave the palace. Rox is at his peak now. Xiao, the strength displayed by the organization made him doubt his life a little, which made him angry. Why does Xiao organization improve its strength so quickly? He knew King Zhu. A strong person has a very keen sense of people he has met. Before, he was clearly only a top strong person. Xiao, how does the organization do it? But just when he was angry, he vaguely heard the thoughts in Abasa's heart. This made him even more furious. Observation Haki, an extremely powerful person, has vaguely reached the level of mind reading. Although he is not as evil as Tong, he can still vaguely sense what others are thinking about him. He looked at Abasa and said in a long voice, "Where are you going?" Abasa stiffened and wanted to make an excuse to excuse himself. But Rox didn't give him a chance to explain and slapped him directly. Although he has not fully recovered from his injuries, killing one Abasa is enough. Abasa roared in despair and wanted to defend, but it was too late. He was directly knocked away by the palm and fell heavily to the ground. In the pit, Abasa was already bloody and his appearance could not be seen clearly. Seeing Abasa dying, everyone else remained silent. What is this situation? Why did Rox suddenly take action? Are you being driven crazy by the Akatsuki organization? Rox heard all this, but chose not to hear it. Instead, he said harshly, "If anyone dares to betray Rox Pirate again, he will end up like Abasa." Everyone swallowed. My heart throbbed. Rox didn't care anymore. This could be regarded as killing the chicken and respecting the monkey. He looked at the screen again. Marine headquarters. Above the sky, the legs of the 5 Saint Elders fell from the sky. At the same time, Achoku took a slap on the side. The 5 saints crossed their hands, resisted in front of their chests, and activated Conqueror's Haki boom. There was a loud noise, and the 5 saints were directly photographed. Even with the use of Haki, the arm was still bloody. King Zhu and Pluton did not give the 5 saints any chance to breathe. He swooped away and continued to chase the 105 saints. The 4 saints recovered from the shock and shouted to the people behind them, "Let's take action together to save the 5 saints." With that said, he took the lead. The first generation kaitsu in his hand unsheathed, gritted his teeth, and swung his sword. A blast of sword energy was directly cut out by him, and it went towards King Wu and Ming Achoku. At the same time, his figure shot away holding a sword and charging away. Behind him, the generals also took action one after another. Akainu's body turned into lava and rushed away. Kizaru formed a circle with both hands and directly used the 8-foot mirror to refract it. Fujitor stepped forward, drew out the sword in his hand, and instantly suppressed it with gravity. The green bull's body began to swell and branches grew out of its limbs and body. "Please give me flowers." The green bull, a tree fruit user, directly turned into a towering giant tree, and countless leaves shot away like sharp swords, streaking through the afterimages in the void. Behind them, King Wu and King War also started to take action when they saw this call. The sound of breaking through the air was heard, and the next moment, the four Saint Elders appeared in front of Pluton with the first-generation ghost in their hands and slashed it with one sword. Then, at some point, a laser machine appeared in Pluton's hand and directly blocked the blow. The four saints gritted their teeth and cursed secretly in their hearts. Sure enough, it's on par with my own strength, but now it's over. This also means that he will be restrained by Pluton and unable to rescue the five saints. Hateful. The eyes of the four saints flashed, and a fierce look emerged. He kept waving the first-generation ghost in his hand. The sword was shining and the sword was shadowing. But he is still on par with the other party. Below, Xiao chases down. The five saints gritted their teeth and tried their best to block it. Although his leg is broken, he is still extremely strong and will not die so easily. King Zhu punched out, and the five saints had no choice but to follow up with a punch. The fists collided with each other, and King Zhu was dripping with cold sweat. It hurt too much, and there was still a faint numbness in the bones of my hand, but in such a life-and-death battle, there was no time to relax. King Zhu's body transformed, and the laser sword flashed out of his hand again. The five saints were startled, his eyes turned red, and he roared sharply. It was this blow that cut off his leg just now. He didn't dare to take this move forcefully, and stepped directly into the air. He uses moonwalk to escape. However, Yu Wang is the laser fruit, and his strength is even higher than him. The five saints couldn't escape at all, and saw King Zhu chasing after them again. The laser sword in his hand was cut down directly, and the blow was directed towards the head. Countless golden lightnings circled and shuttled around the laser sword. If this move is successful, the five saints believe that he will definitely die. Iron body. He roared sharply, then crossed his hands to resist. Using Conqueror's Haki and armament Haki at the same time, he tried his best. King Zhu, his eyes were cold and stern. He sneered, "Don't you know that people who use iron body die miserably?" Big. Chapter 90. The five saints were beheaded. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation. While King Zhu spoke, the laser sword came down. The sword energy roared, and golden flashes continued to shine. Below, the Marines only felt a sense of oppression. It seemed that something was pressing down directly, making it difficult for them to breathe. PFFT. There was a sound of flesh being cut. The five saints roared in pain, and their hands were cut off. It hurts too much. It really hurts. How many years has it been since he felt this miserable? As an extremely powerful man, when had he ever been in such a miserable state? However, fortunately, he was blocked. Although his arms were broken, his life was preserved. He endured the pain and ran away frantically. It has to be said that the most powerful people have tenacious vitality. Both arms were broken, one limb was chopped off, and blood was pouring out, but he was still able to escape. Behind, several admirals are about to attack King Shangzhou, but they were stopped by King Wu and King Jan, who were killed by 590. King Wu shouted loudly, "Anyone who blocks his path will be killed without mercy." After that, he punched out. At the same time, the War King also kicked out with the same kick. Across the way, Akainu and the others were shocked. It turned out to be so fast that the naked eye could not see the speed. He is also an extremely strong person. At this moment, after confirming that the four opponents were all extremely powerful, the admirals felt a thump in their hearts. Before they could react, everyone was knocked away by the King of War and Wu Achoku, and then dropped directly, boom. Below, the building collapsed, and at the same time, Akainu crashed into the green bull. Knock it out directly. Both of them vomited blood at the same time and were buried by the collapsed building. Don't know life or death. Below, the soldiers were trembling. The admirals were knocked down by the two opponents with one move, and their life or death was uncertain. They were extremely desperate. This time, will Marine be defeated again? The five saints fled frantically, but they couldn't get away from King Zhu at all. Damn it! His eyes were extremely red, and at this moment he had no intention of fighting at all. If he continues to fight, he will die. He will drag him until the other 3 Saint Elders come over. In that case, you will be saved. As they were facing forward, a cold voice came from behind. Don't you want to run? The hairs all over the 5 saints stood on end, and King Ju caught up with him. King Ju's fingers were like knives, and he stabbed directly into the back of the 5 saints. And at this moment, a whistling sound broke through the air, accompanied by a rough voice. Xiao, you are provoking Marine over and over again. It is really unreasonable. The sound spread, and a strong figure appeared beside King Ju at some unknown time. Garp Vocational Education. Garp takes action. The Marine hero takes action. A palm came down towards King Ju's back. King Ju didn't care at all and rubbed it off with one finger, the fat sticking out like a knife. There was a puff sound and he stabbed hard. Behind him, Garp's palm was directly blocked by King Wu and King Jian. The 5 saints spit out a mouthful of blood again due to this rubbing. Above, with swords and swords flashing, Pluton and the 4 saints were fighting fiercely. Neither side can suppress the other. Below, the King of Marshal and the King of War joined forces to attack each other at Garp. What is surprising is that Garp actually has the strength of an extremely strong man, but it seems that he has been deliberately not showing it. Garp had an ugly face. Xiao, you can't kill the 5 elders. Once the 5 elders die, the world will fall into chaos again, and that period of history will repeat itself again, and the people will be destitute. But below, King Ju didn't pay attention at all, constantly bombarding the 5 saints. The 5 saints are constantly bleeding, and it is difficult to kill the most powerful ones, but the 5 saints are almost exhausted. Everyone holds their breath, and all Marines know that the 5 elders will die today. The audience in front of the live broadcast screen watched quietly. Perhaps in the near future, after many years in the world, an extremely powerful person will fall again. On the battlefield, the aura of the 5 saints became weaker and weaker, and their bodies fell to the ground in tatters. King Ju was floating in the air, looking down, the laser sword in his hand brewing with powerful sword intent. Mission over. As soon as he finished speaking, the laser sword slashed down directly. The 5 saints looked at the oncoming laser sword with their godless eyes, and smiled bitterly in their hearts. I never thought that I would die today. An extremely powerful man died like this. Xiao, you will pay the price. As long as Lord M takes action, you will be finished. The laser sword slashed down without hesitation. A pop sound resounded through this silent battlefield, seeming to echo in everyone's ears. The fighting stopped, and both sides stopped and looked at the bodies of the 5 saints really dead. Xiao actually killed 5 elders. Xiao members gather in the sky on the cloak behind him. The names Zhu Wang, Pluton, Marshal King, and War King were fluttering in the wind. At this moment, 100,000 Marines, including the hero Garp and the 4 saints of the 5 elders, stood silently. No one dared to fight, and the other 3 saints failed to come over in the end. Dawn Organization, for Achoku pick up and leave. At this moment, the sky was covered with dark clouds, heavy raindrops fell, and thunder continued. The faces of the 4 saints were as dark as water. When they chose to be born, they never thought that they would die. In front of the live broadcast screen, everyone was speechless and a little dazed. The 5 elders, the most powerful people in the world government, died like this. The most powerful person in the capital, the 5 saint elders, can't even hold on until the other 3 elders come to support. Hero Garp has taken action. Hey, tell me, will the world government go crazy this time? It's true. The death of a leader means that the strength of the world government has plummeted. As expected, the Akatsuki organization, my idol, has won again. Xiao Huan Yids. I don't know if Akatsuki organization needs to recruit members. I want to join Akatsuki. Come on, it's just you? Everyone in the Akatsuki organization is strong, and the weakest one has the strength of Marine Vice Admiral. Are you worthy? I do not deserve. Mariewa, in the royal palace. Several celestial dragons' elders looked as ugly as 4.4. The 5 elders were actually killed by Akatsuki. They are our biggest guard of honor, and now this guard of honor is indeed not safe. If the Akatsuki organization comes to Mariewa to cause trouble, we will be doomed. Yes. Is the Akatsuki organization a member of the D clan? The Akatsuki organization has been extremely mysterious until now. Every time it appears, its strength skyrockets. These people are devils, you think. How about we win over the Akatsuki organization and give them noble status? As long as the Akatsuki organization agrees, we will be a family. Do you think they will agree? There are some extremely powerful people. I'm afraid they want to become nobles themselves. Chapter 91 Rock's Plan. Please subscribe automatically. Revolutionary Army Headquarters. Sabo swallowed. 5 elders died like this. It feels so unreal. On the side, Koala also murmured, yes. It feels so fake, so unreal. Our revolutionary army has been unable to do anything against the world government for so many years. Even when we appear, we have to travel secretly, and our headquarters must be established secretly. The revolution has been going on for so many years, but it has been suppressed by the world government. But now, the Akatsuki organization just sent out a mission and directly killed one of the 5 elders. 5 elders, that's 5 stars. I always feel that our revolution over the years has been in vain. It would be better for someone else to take action. Sabo nodded in agreement. Oh. It's so irritating to compare people to each other. Beside, Long had a dark look on his face. What does it mean? Are you saying that the revolutionary army is incompetent? Long really wanted to slap them both to death. What are you talking about? Is this a problem with the revolutionary army under my command? You are obviously weak, okay? If you can have the strength of the 4 kings of the Akatsuki organization, I will take you to Mariewa to cause trouble. 24 in a minute. Don't stop until you slaughter hundreds of celestial dragons. In the final analysis, it is not because you are weak and have restricted the development of the revolutionary army that we have to hide in Tibet. Taking a deep breath, Long suppressed the urge to hit the 2 of them. He said slowly, this time, the terrifying 5 elders will be in full force. You go and prepare the funds, and then I will personally hire the Xiao organization. Sabo nodded. Currently, we are in urgent need of funds in all aspects, but we can still squeeze out a lot of money from the running water. We are still short of almost 2 billion bili to pay for hiring the Akatsuki organization. The second half of New World. The red-haired man smiled bitterly and shook his head. The Akatsuki organization is really overbearing and unparalleled. Kill, as you say, the most powerful person has fallen like this. The other 3 saints are the strongest among the strongest. Can the Akatsuki organization be able to resist? On the side, the fat man was still eating chicken legs as if he had been eating them all the time. Captain, what you said, how has the Akatsuki organization been unable to handle it? Maybe next time, all 4 old guys will be killed by the Akatsuki organization. The redhead smiled bitterly. Has the Akatsuki organization left such an impression on people now? As if anyone can be killed. The red-haired man knew the strength of Yisheng, which was stronger than any of the 4 kings. Xiao organizing the next step will not be easy. Deep in the New World he is really dead. The most powerful man is really dead. Because of his hatred, Rox is now a little crazy, and at this moment his terrifying side is finally revealed. Very good. Xiao is well organized. You guys did a great job. Below, Tadakuri and others felt strange. Rox is being driven crazy by the Akatsuki organization, right? It was not like this at the beginning. He looked like he was superior to others, and he was indifferent to everything, as if everything was under control. And now he really looks like a sick devil. Xiao, the organization killed an extremely powerful man, and also attacked and drove an extremely powerful man crazy. It has to be said that the death of those captains was not a loss. It's an honor to be able to kill such a powerful force personally on the throne. Rox laughed and picked up the phone. Soon, a voice came to mind on the other side of the phone. The voice was very low, and he sounded very unhappy. Hey, Elder Yishen, long time no see. The person on the other side was stunned for a moment, then seemed to recognize who the person was and said uncertainly, Rox. Hee, yes, it's me. Rox smiled sickly. After Yishen confirmed that it was Rox, he frowned slightly and then said angrily, Rox, I'm in a very bad mood right now. It's best not to bother me, otherwise your head will have to be moved. Yisheng felt that Rox must be here to add insult to injury. The 5 saints are dead, and this pirate must be gloating over his misfortune. Rox laughed and said, the first saint elder and the 5 saint elders died. I am also very sad. You fart. Rox, don't think that we 5 elders can't do anything to you. Rox didn't care. He still had a sick smile on his face. Elder Yisheng, why do you have to sound so aggressive? Actually, I came here because I want to cooperate with you. Huh? Elder Yisheng was confused and then said angrily, the world government does not need to cooperate with pirates. Rox sneered, oh? Really? Then why did Marine set up 7 warlords of the sea? Yisheng was speechless, pondered for a moment, and then said in a slower tone, speak. Ha. Rox said with a smile, now that the 4 kings of the Akatsuki organization have appeared, the current Akatsuki is not something that we, the most powerful people, can look down upon. With the death of the 5 saint elders, your strength has also dropped a lot. So, we can actually cooperate to deal with the Akatsuki organization, and I can fill the vacancy of the 5 saints elder. You know, I am stronger than the 5 saints 397 elder. With me joining, Marine will be even more powerful than before. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? On the opposite side, Elder Yisheng said angrily, the whereabouts of the Xiao organization are uncertain now. No matter how you look for it, you don't know. What's the point of our cooperation? Rox shook his head and sighed with emotion. Elder Yisheng, you haven't been born for too long, and your brain is no longer functioning. On the opposite side, Elder Sheng's tone was unkind. Rox ignored it and continued, the Akatsuki organization is a murderous organization. As long as I hire the Akatsuki organization to kill myself, won't the Akatsuki organization appear? At that time, you will ambush nearby and wait for the Akatsuki organization to appear. We will take action together to kill the Akatsuki organization by surprise. What do you think? Elder Yisheng's eyes lit up. That's right. Why didn't I think of that? Why bother looking for the Akatsuki organization? As long as you hire the Akatsuki organization, they will naturally appear. Elder Yisheng nodded, okay. For more details, we'll discuss it in detail when you come over to the Marine headquarters. Rox laughed, okay, Elder Yisheng, Chapter 92 Winning Over. Please subscribe automatically! Exclamation Mariewa, deep. On the throne, Im's tall, frivolous figure was still sitting above it, but below, there were no longer 5 people, but only 4. 4 people knelt down. The 4 saints were the first to speak. Lord Im, my subordinates are incompetent. I just watched the 5 saints being killed in front of me. Lord Im waved his hand. This is not your fault. I didn't expect that the Akatsuki organization actually has 4 kings, all of whom are extremely powerful. The 4 saints continued, no. Lord Im, it's not that these 4 kings didn't take action before, it's that their strength was not at its peak before, and it was only recently that it reached its peak. The 4 saints and the 5 saints have been to the battlefield of all nations before, and have seen Codename Zero. Although they are wearing masks, their aura is easy to distinguish for a strong person. Prior to King Ju, he was at most a top-notch powerhouse. However, in just a few days he appeared again and he has already reached the top. These words made Lord Im's eyes, which had always been indifferent, move slightly on the throne. For him, he doesn't really care about being an extremely powerful person at all. What he cares about is whether it involves the secret. But now the words of the four saints really made waves in his calm state of mind. What's the meaning? In just a few days he has been promoted from the top to the top, and he is still the strongest among the top. Otherwise, he would not be able to kill the 5 saints. Is this true? The 4 saints nodded and then continued, moreover, I have studied the previous major battles organized by the Akatsuki. From the very beginning, during the Summit War, the Zhu King Zhang was a big-breasted calendar. And in just over 2 months he has already reached the same strength as me. Click, a crisp crushing sound came out. Im directly pinched the pure gold armrest of the throne to create cracks. The news surprised him. Before, he didn't care at all about external affairs, so he didn't know much about the Xiao organization. But now, someone is telling me that the weak chicken 2 months ago has now become a phoenix. Isn't this too fantastical? Xiao, how do these people in the organization improve their strength? Can sleep be improved? Below, the 4-5 elders did not say anything. To be honest, the 3 of them were extremely shocked after hearing what the 4 saints said. How do you feel that Xiao organizing training is as easy as drinking boiled water? On the throne, Im suppressed the waves in his heart. You have to be calm. You have to be calm. You are still invincible in this world. After all, the most powerful person is just a matter of one move in front of you. After calming down, Im finally spoke slowly. No matter what, the Akatsuki organization cannot let them continue to exist. Do you have any plans? Yisheng said, Sir, before, I had a phone call with Liu Kai. Oh, Rox, that guy actually dared to contact you. Im said with interest. Yes, Im Tianping. I really didn't expect that this guy has been convinced for so many years and has become an extremely strong person. Im recalled and then seemed to have thought of something and continued, by the way, Monkey D. Garp seems to be an extremely strong person, and his strength is not bad. Yisheng nodded. It's indeed beyond our expectations. If he hadn't taken action this time, we wouldn't have known his true strength. The D family muttered. The first sage is Kaido. As for Garp, there is no need to worry. He is quite loyal to the world government. Although he refused the position of admiral in order not to be manipulated by us, he has been serving Marine from beginning to end. 27 Im nodded. I know this. We can also call him for this operation. With another extremely powerful person joining us, the battle situation will be clearer. Yisheng was a little helpless when he heard this. Garp said that this time was his last action, and he would not be involved in any wars in the future. He had been preparing to retire before, but was persuaded by Kong to stay and serve as a recruiter teach. Im nodded and stopped talking about this matter, then let him go, as long as he doesn't antagonize us. By the way, you just said that Rox was on the phone with you. What was it about? Rox wants to cooperate with us. He said that he will hire the Akatsuki organization to assassinate him. At that time, we will ambush nearby and destroy the Akatsuki organization together. Hearing this, Im nodded again. This is okay. Now that the 5 saints have fallen, it is also a good thing to have Rox, an extremely powerful person, to cooperate. However, this guy has no good intentions. He opposed our government and became a pirate. Let's do this. After the Akatsuki organization is annihilated, the 4 of you will join forces to eliminate it. Yisheng nodded. That's exactly what I meant. Deep in the new world, Rox sits on a throne. Holding the phone bug, he kept making calls. Bikasilda, hello. Who's there? A voice came from the other side of the phone. Rox chuckled. Long time no see, Pluton Rayleigh. Do you remember me? Your mother? I don't remember your mother. I don't even know who you are, let alone your mother. Rock's eyes widened and he was a little angry. Really, you haven't changed after so many years. You are just as annoying as Roger. Okay, let's get down to business. I know you know who I am, so let's get straight to the point. Rox said angrily. Rayleigh chuckled. Rox said, this time, I'm here to cooperate with you. Oh, the dignified Rox actually wants to cooperate with an old man like me. I have nothing. Now I'm just a bad old man. Rox sneered, don't pretend, Rayleigh. We are all from the same era, and none of us know who the other is. This time, I will join forces with the 5 elders to annihilate the Dawn organization. I hope you Xiao can help me. Haha, no problem. Rox was stunned. Isn't this too straightforward an answer? Is this agreed? However, I can't guarantee what I can do. I'm old and not very useful anymore, Rayleigh said. Rox finally figured out what Rayleigh was thinking. I guess this guy just went through the motions to meet the influential figures of this era. As the most powerful person of his generation, he was also the deputy of the previous generation's pirate king. I definitely hope to have a try against the king of this generation. Rox doesn't care about that either. As long as Rayleigh helps, even if he doesn't help with all his strength, he is still a member of Akatsuki. Soon, the two finished talking and hung up the phone. Rox continued to think, then continued to make the call. This time, we must destroy Xiao. Chapter 93. It's really embarrassing. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation. Rox, Rayleigh, and 5 elders join forces. Tong naturally doesn't know. After King Ju got back the 25 billion billy, he placed it in the hall. The storage room is so full that I can't put it in anymore. And now, these 25 billion have piled up into a hill, occupying the living room. The wealth value is also settled, 2,500 points, plus the previous 7.95 billion points. The wealth value reached 32.95 billion points. Perona looked at the mountain of money, her eyes shining brightly. Tong, this money is too annoying to put in the lobby. Otherwise, put it in my room. I will make a contribution to the cleanliness of the Xiao organization base. Tong rolled his eyes and said it so righteously. To put it bluntly, he just wanted money. Seeing that Tong was silent, Perona looked at him with big watery eyes and said cutely, Tong, that's not right. Master, my good master, I am doing this for your sake. Look, our submarine is originally small and the owner doesn't have much space to move around. Now there are still piles of things here. Doesn't this make the owner feel uncomfortable? Tong rubbed his nose. Isn't there almost no sleeping space in your room? It's all clothes and dolls. For the sake of the master's clear vision, I can throw away all those things, Perona said. Tong looked at Perona, feeling anti in his heart. So shameless. 283. However, it is not a problem for this money to accumulate here. You know, money only has value when it flows, otherwise it is just a piece of paper. In the past few months, Perona has been completely integrated into the Akatsuki organization. It can be said that she is now a part of the Akatsuki organization. Xiao Zhu, codename Zero, Xiao Ming, Xiao Wu, Xiao Zhan all get along very well with Perona. In front of Tong, all Xiao members are in awe of him, which is a superior subordinate relationship, so generally speaking, they speak more seriously, and they will not joke with Tong. But Perona is different. For Tong, it's more like a friend relationship, which makes Tong's life a little more colorful. Tong plans to invest the money in his own external forces, so that he doesn't have to keep piling it up. Then you can take part of it and reward it to Akatsuki organization members and Perona. Although they are killers given to them by the system, they are also living people, not virtual products. Dividing the money in the same way, the Kingdom of Arthur will allocate 5 billion in funds. Since Zephyr exists in the form of a fleet, only 3 billion will be enough. As for Wano Kuni, when Tong deceived them so much money Sekf, he invested more. After all, Wano Kuni is developing from scratch, and it also has to deal with the pollution from the Kaido factory, which is also a big expense. At that time, the money paid to the Xiao organization for employment almost caused their treasury to almost run out of money. So Tong prepared to allocate them 10 billion bili. After the distribution of the money was completed, the other 3 departments were responsible for delivering the money, and Tong did not worry about these things. Seeing that every member of the Akatsuki organization had received millions of baileys, Perona was jealous. Looking at Tong expectantly, seeing that the last person had received it, Tong didn't want to reward himself yet. Perona is a little anxious. Where is mine? Where is mine? Tong glanced at him. Are you a member of the Xiao organization? Perona was speechless, with a disappointed look on her face and watery eyes. Tong laughed in his heart and said calmly on the surface, but Xiao organizes servants to receive money. Perona brushed her head and raised her head, her eyes bright. Really? Tong felt that Chunin couldn't help but laugh wildly, and looked doubtful on the outside as he said, "What's real or fake? Are you a servant?" Perona's little head nodded rapidly, her twin ponytails flicked. I'm a servant, master, I'm your servant. Tong scorned. Didn't you say that you weren't the one at the beginning? Perona argued. Where can I be? The master is so handsome, elegant, and graceful. I wish I could be your servant. Tong felt helpless, saying this almost blew me up to the sky. Hey, sure enough, money can make all the difference. What a pity, it's for I can't afford it. Tong did not intend to continue bullying this slowly, and waved his hand. Go and get it yourself. Now that he has 32.95 billion wealth points, he needs to consider improving his strength. When Perona heard this, she was so happy that she kept saying, "The master is the best, the master is the most handsome, the master is the best person in the world, I love the master the most, long live the master." Tong rolled his eyes and ignored her. Logia walked into the room. Behind him, Perona sneered, picked up a handful of baileys and went to the room, with happiness on his face. On the other side, the kingdom of Arthur. Xiao heard that Akatsuki members were visiting and greeted them personally. Looking at the code numbers 2 and 3, I feel extremely respectful. Welcome to the Xiao organization. With that said, he personally led the 2 of them into the palace. I have to say that King Arthur Joe is quite simple. Although the country has now become a world power under the protection of the Dawn organization, the palace is still simple, and not magnificent. In a row on both sides of the palace, there were important ministers of the country sitting. When code numbers 2 and 3 walked in, everyone stood up and bowed respectfully. The kingdom of Arthur is now under the power of the Akatsuki organization, and the ministers recruited by Arthur Kai all respect the Akatsuki organization. Arthur Kaio led the codenames 2 and 3 to the main seats in the middle of the stage, while he sat aside. It can be seen that this king is loyal to the Xiao organization, which is why Tong will always support him. Loyal minister, sensible. Everyone took their seats, the banquet began, and everyone toasted. Codenames 2 and 3 nodded, and then said, "This time we allocated some small money to the kingdom of Arthur so that the kingdom of Arthur can develop better." Arthur Kaya waved his hands repeatedly. "Oh, no need to trouble you 2 adults. With the help of the Dawn organization, the Arthur Kingdom's economy is developing well, and the monthly net income is now 100 million baileys. When it comes to net income, Arthur Kayao is still very proud and seems to be selling off his credit. No need to bother you 2 adults. It is because of the Akatsuki organization that today's Arthur Kingdom is possible. I still want to supply Mr. Wu every month." Code 2 chuckled. "There's no need to hand it over. You can keep your money for your own efforts to develop the kingdom of Arthur. Also, you should also accept these 5 billion bili and use them to develop the country together." Arthur Kayao laughed and waved his hand to refuse. But the next moment was dull. How much did the 2 adults say just now? 50/C. Did I hear correctly? 5 billion Billy. Is Xiao the organization so rich? He originally thought that in just 2 months he had gone from a national deficit to a monthly net income of 100 million Billy, which was awesome. But now, he only feels that he is like a waste. I originally wanted to give half of it to the Xiao organization every month, but with a wave of my hand, it was 5 billion. At this moment, Arthur Kaya wanted to take back his words, but he was so proud just now. Shame on you. Chapter 94 The Invincible Strong Man. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation somewhere in the sea. Zephyr laughed, with excitement on his face. Hey, the brothers from the Xiao organization are here to welcome you. Some of them are far away, some are far away. Codenames 4 and 5 nodded in agreement. Soon, Zephyr led the 2 people into the reception room. Because it was on a boat, the wedding room was just like that. In addition, Zephyr doesn't care about these, so it is a bit crude now. A few sofas and a glass table. It's a bit crude, I hope you don't mind, Tilda Zephyr said. Code numbers 4 and 5 waved their hands, indicating that it was nothing. Soon, Sai and Ain came up with food and wine. Zephyr entertained the 2 warmly. Soon, the conversation got down to business. Codename 4 spoke. This time, the master plans to hand over some tasks of the Xiao organization to you for external processing. Zephyr was stunned when he heard this, and then asked with joy, really? Code 4 nodded. If the target person is relatively simple, you will complete it. If it is a strong person, we will complete it ourselves. Zephyr is someone who has been coveted for so long. He has been outside the Akatsuki organization for so long, but he has yet to contribute any power to the Akatsuki organization. He was the one who named himself outside the Akatsuki organization at the beginning. But since there was no movement for so long, he thought that the Akatsuki organization didn't take him seriously at all. Now it seems that the Dawn organization still remembers me. With a smile on his face, he said, I will try my best. It will not ruin the reputation of the Akatsuki organization. Codename 4 chuckled and encouraged. Then he said, in order to enable you to improve your strength, the master asked us to bring funds for you to use. Zephyr doesn't care either. A total of 3 billion Baileys. Code 4 said and put the money on the table. As soon as these words came out, Zephyr's body shook, he fell down, and the glass table broke. The food on top fell to the ground. Zephyr looked embarrassed. I am old and have some bad habits, and my body will twitch from time to time. Beside, Vince and Ein stood with contempt in their hearts. Old problem? Why didn't we know about it before? Are you sure this is not what you heard after hearing so much money? It's really troublesome for you. Although 3 billion is a small amount of money, it can be used for development. Zephyr spoke slowly, with a calm expression on his face as if it was a trivial matter. Beside them, Vince and Ein looked down in admiration. This teacher of mine is really good at pretending, and his face is not red, his heart is not beating, and he looks indifferent. 3 billion is just a small amount of money. The 2 of you have been following you for so long and have never seen even 100 million Baileys. I'm sorry to say, it's just a small amount of money. Zephyr seemed to feel the gaze and glanced at his student from the corner of his eye. He saw the 2 people looking at him strangely. I cursed in my heart. What does this look mean? Despise yourself. Damn. Leazi used to be an admiral after all, right? Isn't 3 billion a small amount of money to me? Just kill a few pirates worth over 100 million. Do you want it if you don't have it? Zephyr thought for a while, and it really didn't happen. After all, it's not that easy to kill over 100 million pirates. However, after all, he is a respectable person. How can he lose his dignity? Anyway, Zephyr didn't care how much his 2 students despised him. Leazi just wanted to pretend. Money is an external possession, it's nothing. Suddenly, Code 4 received a call. Soon, Code 4 nodded and hung up. Then he looked at Zephyr and said, "The master just called and said that as an outside of Xiao organization, vigorous development is still necessary. The initial plan of 3 billion Billy was too little, so an additional 3 billion was added." Then, this time, it was the couch Zephyr sat on that shattered. Codenames 4 and 5 looked at Zephyr strangely. Zephyr shook his head. "Hey, my old hair is having frequent attacks today. I'm getting old. This time, the voice was trembling. 6 billion Xiao is the organization that rich. Is it so profitable to be a member of a killer organization? But think about it. Kaido and Big Mom together have a bounty of 10 billion. Calm down, isn't it just 6 billion? On the side, Ein and Binz couldn't bear it anymore. Let you pretend. Looking at people, 3 billion feels a bit small, so we immediately allocated 3 billion. This is the real way of being rich and willful. Please give me flowers inside the submarine." After Yi Tong explained everything, he stopped paying attention to the outside world. Nowadays, the strength of the Dawn organization makes it unnecessary to perform those simple tasks. Therefore, Yi Tong simply left it to Zephyr, an external force. This way, you don't have to worry about small tasks yourself. And Yi Tong, a member of the Xiao organization, plans to conduct a major integration. Xiao, the organization, is no longer divided into 4 parts, but is directly unified into one. In other words, all members will use fusion trap to fuse. The Xiao organization will create an organization with absolutely high-end combat capabilities. However, these cannot be carried out until everyone gathers together tomorrow, so there is no rush at the moment. Yi Tong looked at the system. Wealth points, 32.95 billion points. King Ju and Pluton are now at the mid-level of extreme power. The combat prowess of King Wu and King War are at the beginning level of extremely strong men. Pluton, King of Marshal, and King of War are all integrated, so there is no need to upgrade now. In a few days, when all members of the Akatsuki organization gather and then all merge, the strength of the 3 of them will naturally be greatly improved. King Ju, codenamed Zero, is alone, so it is necessary to upgrade. The price of being promoted from the middle level of an extremely strong person to the high level of an extremely strong person is 15 billion Billy. Yi Tong upgrades directly. King Ju, strength, extremely powerful and high level. Wealth value, 17.95 billion points. Next, Yi Tong plans to improve his strength. Upgrade both special grade emission Haki and special grade armament Haki to perfect level. The total wealth points spent is 10 billion points. Now, Yi Tong's Haki has all reached the level of perfection, which can be said to be unmatched by anyone in the world. Then spend 2 billion points of wealth to develop both Kirin fruit and wind fruit to 200%. After doing all this, Yi Tong quickly looked at the system. I saw the line strength determination under the system page. The result of strength is Invincible strong beginner level. Chapter 95, Climb to the top with Xiao. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation. One of the 5 elders died, and all the powerful forces on the sea disappeared one after another. This brought this era into an era of great chaos. Countless people saw the opportunity to become the strongest in the world. Nowadays, even legendary strong players like Rocks have emerged, and others are no exception. Somewhere in the New World, on top of a huge Sky Island spaceship, a man sat on a high platform with his legs crossed. The strange thing is that the man's feet are actually 2 swords. Golden Lion leaned on the armrest with one hand and rested his chin on his arm. Soon, 2 figures walked in at the door of the hall. One figure is thin, and the other figure is extremely strong. Golden Lion grinned. It's finally here. Soon, the 2 walked into the hall and stood in the center of the hall. The pupils of the Golden Lion crew members around 103 all shrank, with expressions of disbelief on their faces. As crew members of legendary pirates, they naturally have a lot of knowledge. The strong one is Doug Bullet. the legendary one who fought with Pluton. Really, I heard that his taijutsu and haki have reached the special level and are very powerful. It was Marine who used Buster Call at the beginning. He was not afraid of the hero Garp and the former Marshal Sengoku. In the end, it was the commander-in-chief of the three armies Kong who took action himself. Its capture. I heard that his fruit power has awakened. He is also an extremely strong man. Who is the other one? It looks very noble. How come I haven't seen it before? I haven't seen it either. You are so low, you don't even know this? Patrick Lightfield, nicknamed the Red Earl, was once a powerful figure. But I remember he was already very old. How could he become so young? Another extremely strong man. What's going on with our captain? Why did you ask two Judings to come to our ship? On the side, Patrick Lightfield glanced at the nagging crew members. It's so noisy. The next moment he waved his hand and a red blood mist passed through everyone. Everyone felt unable to move and felt terrified in their hearts. What's happening here? I can't move. It's so uncomfortable. It feels like my body is absorbing something. Screams rang out one after another, and soon the screams stopped, and all those people shrouded in blood mist turned into mummies and fell to the ground with a pop. The faces of the other surviving crew members all changed drastically, and they trembled in fear. What's happening here? Why is this person's ability so terrifying? These people instantly became thousands of households. Patrick Lightfield glanced at the others again. Everyone was as silent as cicadas, not daring to say anything any more terrible. This man's abilities are terrifying. On the stage, Golden Lion didn't care about the death of the crew members, but still said, Patrick Lightfield, that's enough. These people are my people. Patrick Lightfield chuckled, I just want to make this place clean and tidy. On the side, Bullet gave him a cold look. With a slight movement in my heart, Patrick Lightfield, the aloof Red, also known as the Red Earl, was also a strong man at the beginning. But unlike other major pirate forces, this guy only believed in himself and claimed that he had no need for partners. And the most terrifying thing is that this guy's observation haki is so powerful that it is said to be able to read other people's memories and listen to other people's voices. However, why is he so young? Could it be that he has gained some fruits? On stage, Golden Lion is well informed. He said with a smile, Patrick Lightfield, it seems that he has obtained the devil fruit ability of the fantasy beast system. Is this a vampire fruit? Patrick Lightfield chuckled, it is indeed the Golden Lion. You can tell it at a glance. Golden Lion sighed with emotion, it's really good. You can become younger by sucking blood. If I don't eat the lion fruit, I will eat the vampire fruit. Being young means that my strength has reached its peak. On the side, Bullet glanced at me and said leisurely, stop talking nonsense, Golden Lion. Why are you here this time? He didn't come here to listen to Golden Lion and that count talking nonsense. He was polite on the surface and kept saying the same thing, but it was disgusting to hear. Golden Lion smiled and said, Bullet, after all these years, you are still so impatient. In the beginning, in order to become a stronger man than Roger, I chose to board Roger's ship. It's a pity. If you board my ship, I guarantee that you will become the strongest. Bullet sneered, does Roger's defeated general have the nerve to say this? Golden Lion's face turned cold and he said in a bad tone, if it hadn't been for that sudden storm, that's all. Golden Lion waved his hand, I called you here this time, not because of the quarrel. Just yesterday Rox contacted me and asked me to work together. Patrick Lightfield and Bar both raised their eyebrows. Bullet has a relatively straightforward personality and said directly, that guy from Rox is asking you to cooperate. It's your business, what does it have to do with me? Could it be that we were called here just to talk about this matter? It's really boring. With that said, he turned around and left. Behind him, Golden Lion's voice sounded again, smiling. This time, I believe both of you are definitely interested in Rock's target. The Akatsuki organization is now known as the world's only emperor. Some people even respectfully call him Xiao Huang. Bullet paused. Patrick Lightfield 4.8 also looked up at the Golden Lion. Golden Lion continued, "Everyone is a proud person in their hearts, and they all want to be the strongest in this world. There used to be Roger, but unfortunately Roger has become a thing of the past. And now, an Akatsuki organization has appeared, recognized as the strongest in contemporary times. Aren't you curious about the strength of the Wu behind the Akatsuki organization? Roger is dead. We can't defeat him and climb to the top with him, but now there is someone who can replace him, or someone who may be more powerful than him. If we can step on him, we can also reach the top of the world." The Golden Lion grinned and looked at the two of them, smiling evilly. "Aren't you two interested?" Chapter 96. The Transformation of the Akatsuki Organization. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation. The next day, on an uninhabited island somewhere in the New World, the four parts of Akatsuki gathered together. Pluton, King of Marshal, and King of War disintegrated. Xiao organized 2,999 people to stand in the open space, codenamed 0-3000. Of course, codenamed 1 did not come. Everyone was dressed in black robes and wore black smiling masks on their faces. Everyone is a strong person. You must know that in the world of pirates, the Vice Admiral is considered a good strong person and can participate in the terrible Buster Call. Tong stood in front of 2,999 people, wearing a fluttering black robe, with a commanding and uninhibited aura. Now Tong has reached the invincible state. Even if he doesn't release his breath, it will still give people a sense of oppression. On the side, Perona was shocked. This was her first time meeting all the members of the Akatsuki organization. In the previous battle between Blackbeard and Kaido, although all members of the Akatsuki organization arrived, it was a war at the time and the opponent's number was far greater than the Akatsuki organization, so I didn't think anything of it. But now, looking at all the members of the Dawn organization alone, she felt an unprecedented sense of oppression. This is even more stressful than facing an army of 100,000 Marines. For a moment, Perona felt a sense of pride in her heart. The Xiao organization is the most powerful organization in modern times, and she is also a part of it. Tong glanced at Perona and smiled. 24. This time he stopped teasing Perona. This is the sense of honor and pride of being a member of the Xiao organization. Tong withdrew his gaze and looked at the members of Xiao. He said in a deep voice, "Vice Admiral's strength is outstanding." As soon as the words came out, 2,000 members of the Vice Admiral Akatsuki jumped out and floated in the air. Tong grinned. 2,000 people. I don't know what level of strength they will reach after the integration. The next moment, Tong said, "Fusion." "Yes." A neat voice sounded, shaking the world. Immediately, 2,000 people turned into laser beams, which continued to converge towards one place like a meteor shower. Although it is daytime, it is still extremely dazzling. If an ordinary person saw it, his eyes might be blinded by lasers. The laser light group keeps growing and growing. Above the sky, a second sun seemed to appear. When the last laser beam merged, the laser light group emitted a surge of energy. A huge cyclone swept across the entire place, and the surrounding trees were directly swept by the cyclone and uprooted. Wow! On the side, Perona was blown upside down by this powerful cyclone. Fortunately, Tong blocked her in time and helped her resist this powerful aura. Perona has lingering fears. This feeling is too powerful. Soon, the cyclone converged and the dazzling light gradually dissipated. Above the sky, a figure appeared with an aura that shook the sky. Ding! The fusion is completed. Title: King of Martial Arts. Power: Supreme Level. High Level. Perona looked at King Wu floating in the sky. Her eyes widened. What is this situation? 2,000 people merge into one person? Isn't this too fantasy? At this moment, her worldview has become enlightened. Can people merge? She now feels ashamed to call herself a member of the Xiao organization. Xiao, she doesn't know anything about the organization's methods. She was still in a trance, and the next moment, 990 members of Akatsuki who were above the Vice Admiral level took to the sky. The scene just now reappeared. Ding! The fusion is completed. Title, War King Power, Supreme Realm High Level. The combined strength of 2000 Vice Admiral has reached the extreme high level. The strength of 990 Vice Admiral and above is almost the same as that of 2000 Vice Admiral. This does not surprise Tong. The previous combination of more than 200 Vice Admiral and above strength and the combination of more than 400 Vice Admiral strength were both at the beginning level of the ultimate realm. Finally, there is the combination of codenamed 2-9. Codenamed 1 has infiltrated the Marine Intelligence Network. He is still needed to provide some intelligence to the Akatsuki organization, so Tong did not let him come with him. Soon, 8 people gathered and turned into lasers. The light group flashed in the sky. Although there were only 8 people, the light group was larger and more dazzling than the other 2 times. These are 8 top-level and high-level experts. The combined cyclone is like a hurricane, destroying the entire island and blowing it to the ground. This time, not only was Perona unable to resist, but even the King of Marshal and the King of War were slightly on the verge of being pushed back. Perona hid behind Tong, watching the surging weather. The heart is throbbing. This is the panic that will show up in the face of absolute strength. It was so powerful. She had never seen such a powerful person before. But what made her even more concerned was the calmness displayed by the boy in front of her. Could it be said that Tong is more powerful? Perona had seen Tong explode in strength once, but there was no enemy to compare with, and she couldn't judge the specifics. She suddenly wanted to see Tong take action and see how powerful this man was. Above the sky, there were dark clouds and lightning and thunder at this moment. Countless rays of lightning continued to strike at the light group, and the world seemed not to allow such a strong person to be born. Mariewa deep in the flower room, Im suddenly raised his head, looked somewhere, and then frowned. This feeling, is this the birth of a nearly invincible strong man? How is this possible? At this moment, a hint of disbelief appeared on his normally calm face. If you are invincible, how could someone come close to you at this time? Observation Haki keeps pouring out and is thrown towards the place where it is felt. He wanted to see who it was. He doesn't allow this to exist. But soon, his knowledge was cut off. His eyes widened. The invincible strong man was actually blocked by someone? On the other side, there is an uninhabited island. Tong sneered. Just now, he felt a wave of seeing and hearing color sweeping over him, which was directly blocked by his seeing and hearing color 183. His knowledge and color are perfect. No one in this world can match him. That guy Im? Tong guessed in his mind that anyone who has watched One Piece knows that there is actually a mysterious person above the 5 elders. Im, who holds the highest power. Tong ignored it. As long as Xiao is not provoked, Xiao organization will not bother to care about it. Tong has no interest in things like power. He just needs to accept employment to improve his strength. As for the rest, now that you are powerful, do you still care about these things? Everything is just a cloud. Soon, the momentum subsided. Ding! The fusion is completed. Title, Pluton Power, Peak of the Ultimate Realm. Tong grinned good. In this way, the Xiao organization has completed its transformation. An absolute high-end combat power. The pinnacle of the ultimate realm, Pluton. Extremely high level, War King and Marshal King. Intermediate level of the ultimate realm, King of Zhu. Top level, high level, code name 1. No. If Perona is included, that means there is still a person with Vice Admiral strength. Tong glanced at Perona. Perona noticed Tong's gaze and looked at Tong. Tong's eyes were contemptuous, and he really tried to pull the Xiao organization across. Corona seemed to understand what Tong meant and rolled her eyes. He is a normal person, but everyone else in the Xiao organization is a monster. Can you compare yourself? Chapter 97 The Strong Ones Gather Together. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation the next day, G5, Marine Headquarters. Marine fully mobilizes all its combat forces. In a large conference room, powerful people gathered together. 4 or 5 elders sit in the main seat. Beside them are 4 admirals and CP0 high-end combat power. Next, sitting is Shichibukai. Blackbeard, Mingji, Whitebeard Roman II, and Gekko Moria have all been removed from the list due to their deaths, while Jinbei helped Luffy, so he was also removed from the list. Of course, Moria was actually rescued by his subordinates, and this marine naturally didn't know. In the original book, Liu would originally use 100 pirate hearts as a bargaining chip to join the 7 warlords of the sea, but now that Brother Ming is dead, he has not implemented this plan. Today, of the 7 warlords of the sea, only Hawkeye, Empress, Tyrant Bear, and a new member, Buddy, remain. This time the call was called, but everyone arrived. Buggy was a little nervous, wondering what Marine was going to do this time. One of the 5 elders, the 5 saints, was killed. Marine is not going to start a war with the Akatsuki organization again, right? Buggy thinks it's very possible. Cursing in his mind, he wouldn't have come if Marine hadn't threatened to expel Shichibukai if he didn't come this time. He planned to see what was going on first. If there was really a war with the Akatsuki organization, Shichibukai would leave even if he didn't do it. He can't mess with Xiao. He is afraid of death. In the conference room, everyone was silent, no one said a word. I don't know how long it took, but Hawkeye spoke first. Isn't the meeting starting yet? Everyone was also confused. Aren't all the main characters from Marine and Shichibukai here? Why haven't you started the meeting yet? Is there anyone else? On the main seat, Yisheng chuckled and said, Eagle Eye, don't worry, there are still a few people who haven't arrived yet. A bunch of Shichibukai wonders. Anyone else? Soon, the conference room door was pushed open. I saw Garp, Sengoku, and he walking in. Marine's 3 powerful combatants from the old era. Garp was cursing and didn't care that 5 elders were present. I'm just a vocational teacher recruiter. Why should I come to attend a meeting? It's true I can't even relax in retirement. Yishengai was not angry and said with a smile, Garp, after this time, you can retire. Garp looked non-committal and sat down directly. Soon both Sengoku and Tsuruya took their seats. But the meeting still didn't start. Buggy wondered again, is there anyone else? Marine's older generation combat power has arrived, who else is there? Not long after, a figure appeared outside the door, followed by nearly 10 people. As soon as the current person appeared, the Shichibukai's pupils shrank, and similarly, the faces of the admirals, Garp, and others all looked ugly. The person who came turned out to be Rocks, followed by Katakuri, Smoothie, Shuryu, who was formerly under Blackbeard, and a group of 6 follies, each of whom was a strong man. Buggy's jaw almost dropped to the ground in shock. Low, Rocks. Quickly, take them down quickly. What are you still doing? Rocks, they were delivered to your door. Garp, Sengoku and he looked at each other, frowned, and then looked at the 5 elders. Yisheng waved his hand. Don't get excited, Rocks is our partner at the moment. As soon as these words came out, Buggy's words stopped abruptly. Partner? What does it mean? Is Marine joining forces with this legendary pirate? What is Marine going to do this time? Everyone was confused. Rocks ignored him and took his seat with all his subordinates. Rocks happened to be sitting next to Buggy. He looked at Buggy and smiled. Buggy felt creepy and quickly changed his position and sat down. Everyone ignored him. Elder Yisheng chuckled and said, now that everyone is here, let's start the meeting. But at this time, Rocks said, don't worry, there are still a few people who haven't arrived yet. These words made the 5 elders pause for a moment, but they didn't pay much attention. Elder Yisheng said, Then wait a little longer. After a long time, 3 figures appeared. Before anyone arrived, a voice came, Marine's conference room, haha. I never thought that one day I would be able to attend Marine's meeting. Humph. A voice sounded again, a cold snort. Has Marine fallen to this level now? It's really useless to unite with our enemies. These 2 voices made Garp, Sengoku and he all look ugly. They are very familiar with it. Golden Lion and Bullet. Soon the 3 of them walked in. Golden Lion looked around and laughed. Everyone, just wait. When they saw the 3 people, except for the 5 elders and the Garp 3 who had already heard who they were, everyone else looked surprised. Here comes another legendary pirate, Golden Lion. The other one is Bullet, Roger's right hand, in existence as famous as Rayleigh. There was another person whom no one noticed, but veterans like Garp can tell it right away. Tilda Patrick Lightfield, Red Earl. Garp was surprised. Patrick Lightfield chuckled. I didn't expect that my hero Garp would still remember me after such a long time. It's really an honor. On the side, Buggy the Clown was almost stunned. What day is it today? Almost all the people standing at the top of the pyramid in today's world have arrived, right? At this time, he pretended to be calm. After all, he was also a big shot who had seen the world, and he was calm and collected. Just then, another person walked in. He looked around with surprise on his face and said with a smile, Yo, so many old friends. When Buggy saw him, he immediately felt at ease. He quickly ran over and said, Rayleigh, the people here are too scary. He has to keep Rayleigh's thigh to feel at ease. Although Bullet used to be Roger's friend, the difference is that he has no companionship and the purpose of boarding the ship is to surpass Roger. He doesn't pay attention to other people at all, so Buggy doesn't dare to provoke him. Rayleigh is different, she is a nicer person. Not bad for him either. Rayleigh chuckled, Buggy. Buggy just stayed with Rayleigh. Soon, everyone was seated. All the top combat forces in the world are gathered together. Elder Yisheng said leisurely, then the meeting will begin. This time, I believe everyone has guessed something about this meeting. Target, Akatsuki organization. The Xiao organization has broken the balance of this world, and we cannot tolerate them continuing. Rox will initiate employment with the Akatsuki organization. As long as the Akatsuki organization accepts it, and when the Akatsuki organization appears, we will work together to strangle it. Beside, Buggy opened his mouth wide. Xiao, is the organization so big? This means that these people sitting here will take action to strangle the Dawn organization. Chapter 98. 75 billion points for 2 hires. Please subscribe automatically! The meeting is almost over. After final discussion, it was decided that the battlefield would be on Ohabench Island. It was a huge uninhabited island in the second half of New World. Due to the bad weather there, no one lived there. Just right for this battle. In a room at the Marine headquarters, Tyrant Bear picked up the phone and called the Revolutionary Army. It just rang once and Long immediately answered. Bear, what's going on? Xing recounted the meeting just now. Long's shocked tone came from over there. Really? I didn't expect that in order to annihilate the Akatsuki organization, the 5 elders would risk everything and join forces with many pirates. Long Yaoyu said. It seems that the death of the 5 saints has completely angered Marine. That's right. This time Xiao may be in trouble. Chen said. Commander, you must tell the Akatsuki organization this news. Otherwise the Akatsuki organization will definitely be wiped out, and your plan will be in vain. As a cadre of the Revolutionary Army, Xing was naturally aware of Long's plan. Long plans to hire the Akatsuki organization to take the opportunity to weaken the power of the world government. If the Dawn organization is destroyed this time, then the Revolutionary Army will shrink back and slowly start fighting guerrillas as before. Long responded and quickly hung up the phone. Then he immediately called 740 Xiao organization. To contact the Xiao organization is actually very simple, just call their hiring number. The call was quickly connected, and Long pointedly asked no to answer the phone, but was rejected directly by the operator. Long had no choice but to reveal his identity, and the operator agreed to tell Yi Tong. Soon, Yi Tong picked up the phone. This was the first time Long heard the sound of nothing. The voice is very young, but it is indeed confident, dignified, and has the arrogance of a superior. As the leader of the Revolutionary Army, it is easy to recognize him, because in fact he also has the same aura of a superior. However, Yi Tong's voice gave him a more sharp and confident feeling. This is normal. The Xiao organization led by Yi Tong has an extremely domineering style and acts vigorously and resolutely. He is not afraid of causing any kind of trouble to the Xiao organization. It is precisely because of this that Yi Tong's character was created. But Long himself is different. The revolutionary army he led has been hiding in the dark, fighting guerrillas with Marine. If it weren't for something extremely bad, they would never have a big confrontation with Marine head-on. Middle sudden. This also leads to the dragon's momentum being relatively restrained and calm. The leader of the revolutionary army came to see me personally. What's the matter? Yi Tong's voice came, neither humble nor overbearing. Long directly told what Xing told him. What surprised Long was that Wu, the boss of the Xiao organization, seemed to have known about this for a long time. Long was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the Akatsuki organization had a hand in getting high-level information from the Marine headquarters. However, in this regard, it doesn't matter. After all, Xiao organization is also a large organization, so it is normal to have such arrangements. What surprised Long was that Yi Tong showed no concern and said, "It's really great. It seems that the Xiao organization can make a lot of money." Long looked blank. Is it really great? It seems that Xiao organization can make a lot of money. Is the point of this matter making money? Isn't this heart too big? Long admitted that Xiao was indeed powerful, but it was difficult to fight against so many extremely powerful people. Long persuaded, Mr. Wu, this is no joke. Although the Dawn organization has 4 kings with unparalleled combat power, it is still difficult to cope with such a large number of extremely powerful people. I also hope that Mr. Wu will consider it properly and not be blinded by money. Long's image of Yi Tong dropped a bit. I didn't expect that at this moment I would still be thinking about money. Don't you feel like you are losing your status as a powerful leader? For money, let your men take such big risks. Yi Tong laughed and said nothing. Thank you, Commander Long, for the reminder. After a pause he said, by the way, Long, as the commander of the Revolutionary Army, since the 5 elders have taken action this time, Sebj, why don't you hire the Xiao organization to kill the 5 elders? Long frowned. Mr. Wu, do you mean to step into it even if you know it's a trap? Yi Tong laughed and said, Chief Dragon, how can this be called a trap? They are sending money to the Xiao organization. I can't help but ask for it. Long Wuyan, give money? This requires overcoming nearly 10 extremely powerful people. Is this a gift of money? Long felt that if it were him, he would not want it even if there were hundreds of billions in front of him. When Long didn't answer, Yi Tong continued, Commander Long, as long as you hire the Xiao organization and kill the 5 elders, then the world government's combat power will be weakened. Wouldn't it be a good thing for your revolutionary army? Long pondered noncommittally for a moment. It seems that the Akatsuki organization will accept Rock's employment no matter what. Really stupid. However, in this case, just like Wu said, killing 1 is also killing, and killing 2 is also killing. Long made up his mind and took this opportunity to hire Xiao to organize and kill the 4 saints. After several days of fund allocation, the Revolutionary Army has also collected 30 billion bili in funds. This was originally intended to be used to hire the Akatsuki organization. Long thought of this and said, in my own name, I hired the Xiao organization to kill the four saints. Originally, I planned to assist the Akatsuki organization, but this time, the Akatsuki organization insisted on going its own way and wanted to be hostile to so many powerful people at the same time, so our revolutionary army will not take action. Tong chuckled. It doesn't matter, Commander Long just prepares the money. On the opposite side, Long was non-committal and just said, I hope Mr. Wu will not regret it by then. Tong doesn't care either. Nowadays, the Xiao organization is not afraid of the top combat power among all the members. Even if something unexpected happens, he will take action. No fear at all. Long Yi stopped trying to persuade them. The two sides had different ideas. In this case, it was none of the Revolutionary Army's business if Xiao organized this war and led to its destruction. After the two parties agreed on the transaction location, they hung up the phone. A few hours later, an anonymous phone call came. With 25 billion bili, the hiring target is a holy elder. Tong scoffed, and the Revolutionary Army hired Xiao to organize the killing of the four saints and offered him 30 billion bili. A holy elder hired with 25 billion bili. Xiao is the organization so shameless. The other party was helpless, and finally hired Xiao to organize and kill Yisheng at a price of 45 billion. Only then did Tong get the operator to agree. He sneered in his heart. As expected, Marine and the pirates couldn't be sincere in joining forces. At the Marine meeting, Rox said that he hired the Akatsuki organization to kill him, but now he changed the target to a holy elder. Tong doesn't care about these. I feel happy. This time I can earn 75 billion bili. Chapter 99. The most powerful battle in the world is about to begin. Please subscribe automatically. Rox stood on a high peak, sitting cross-legged with his legs crossed, waiting quietly. On a higher mountain in the distance, Buggy set up the live broadcast equipment. Buggy is in a good mood right now. Since Marine plans to encircle and suppress the Akatsuki organization this time, in order to wipe away Marine's previous shame, this war will be broadcast live all over the world. Not only that, as soon as the Akatsuki organization is destroyed, the 5 elders will take action against other pirates and eliminate all powerful pirates. In this way, world government will regain the support of the people and at the same time weaken the recent influence of the Akatsuki organization. Just as Tong thought, Marine and the pirates were destined to be unable to cooperate sincerely and were full of calculations. Buggy had previously broadcast live at Summit War, so he continued to be sent to live broadcast. Buggy is a dream come true, just don't participate in the battle organized by Akatsuki. Next to Buggy, there is Rayleigh. Buggy was a little confused and said, Rayleigh, aren't you hiding? Others hid one after another, waiting for the Akatsuki organization to come and kill them by surprise. Fortunately, Rayleigh, as a strong person, appeared here so openly. Wait, Xiao organization saw it. What should I do if they don't come out? Rayleigh chuckled, looking unconcerned. It doesn't matter whether we hide or not. The Akatsuki organization would be so stupid not to know that Marine and pirates are uniting this time. Buggy was stunned. What do you mean? It is difficult for such a big thing to be kept secret without leaking it. The Akatsuki organization is so powerful and has done a good job in all aspects of intelligence work, so they will definitely know about it. Rayleigh spoke confidently. Buggy was a little surprised. Then why would the Akatsuki organization take on this mission if it knows about it? As he said that, his eyes widened with admiration on his face. The Akatsuki organization plans to eat the employment money. 45 billion. Buggy looked envious. If he could get this money, why would he be a pirate? Just find a place to retire. Rayleigh chuckled. Do you think the Akatsuki organization will be like you? The most powerful people have no shortage of money. Buggy looked at Rayleigh, despising the sentence in his heart. The most powerful person is not short of money? Then why do you still look so poor? You are really telling lies with your eyes open. Rayleigh ignored him. Buggy looked at him and said to himself, since the Xiao organization has accepted the call, they will definitely come. Buggy said angrily, that's not necessarily the case. We have so many powerful people here now. If we don't know, forget it. If we know, we definitely won't come. Rayleigh grinned, how about we make a bet, Buggy? Buggy brushed him off and said, no. Rayleigh touched her nose and said to herself, okay, I also have a treasure drawing here. Since you don't want it, forget it. When Buggy heard this, he immediately became confused and his eyes gleamed, really. Rayleigh took it out from his pocket and said without comment, this is what Roger left for me. When Buggy heard this, he quickly said, bet, bet, bet. Since Captain Roger gave it to Rayleigh, it must be a good thing. Rayleigh sneered in her heart. It seemed like she could cheat on the drink money. Finally, the two made a bet. If the Akatsuki organization did not come, then Buggy would get the treasure map. If the Akatsuki organization came, Buggy would give Rayleigh 1,500 W. Bailey. In front of the live broadcast screen, people from all over the world were attracted. Yo, there's a live broadcast again. No need to guess, the fixation has something to do with the Xiao organization. Haha, it must be. It's not the Akatsuki organization. I stand on my head to wash my hair. I don't know who the Akatsuki organization is going to war with this time. Look, there are several people standing on the other side of the mountain. That is? I'll go. Rox showed up earlier. That legendary pirate, Rox. It seems that the Akatsuki organization is planning to go to war with Rox this time. Didn't Rox beg for mercy after being beaten by the Akatsuki organization before? Haha, it seems like this is what I'm going to say this time. I lost to Xiao before, but I didn't overestimate my abilities this time. I'm afraid I'll have to kneel down and beg for mercy this time. Haha, everyone laughed. Please give me Flower's new world in a hospital ward somewhere. Morgans cursed angrily while watching the live broadcast. Someone is trying to steal your job. Damn. I'm in the hospital now, unable to move. He is really angry. The Xiao organization is now a hot topic of attention around the world at this moment. On the live broadcast screen, several sounds broke through the air from a distance. On the top of the mountain, Rox grinned with a sick smile on his face. Here it comes. The Xiao organization is finally here. He was ecstatic in his heart. This time, he must settle the previous accounts properly. The powerful men hiding below also cheered up. The Akatsuki organization is here. I thought they didn't dare to come. On the other side of the mountain, Rayleigh patted Buggy on the shoulder. He chuckled and said, Buggy, it seems you lost this time. Buggy almost cried. We just made a bet, and the Akatsuki organization came? Can't it be earlier? This way you won't lose 5 million Baileys. That's 15 million, which is a huge sum of money for a poor man like him. Soon, the death of the Akatsuki organization was suspended above the island sky. The audience watching said excitedly, the Xiao organization is here. There's another good show to watch. Xiao organization, come on. Kill that Rox. The four kings looked down and saw Rox, Rayleigh, and others. Xiao, you are finally here. Below, Rox laughed, a little impatient. He wants revenge, he must take revenge. Above the horizon, the king ignored Lux. Instead, he said loudly, everyone, since you are all on the island, stop hiding and come out. Everyone is the best in the world, why hide? In front of the live broadcast screen, people were stunned by what the Xiao organization said. More than just Rox. Is there anyone else? Who could it be? He dared to deal with Xiao, wasn't he looking for death? Down. Chapter 100 The Legendary Pirates. Please subscribe automatically. Exclamation in the darkness. Elder Yisheng frowned slightly. The Akatsuki organization actually knows that we are hiding in the dark. The second saint was also surprised. The Xiao organization is indeed not simple. It seems that there are people from them in Marine, and their positions are quite high, otherwise they would not know such a secret. But the 4-5 elders didn't care either. As long as the Akatsuki organization comes. Now that we're here, we can't run away. However, it is still necessary to leave people behind for a sneak attack. Yisheng looked at the Golden Lion, Patrick Lightfield and Bullet. He said slowly, "You go out first. We will continue to hide and take the opportunity to break out." The 3 Golden Lions didn't waste any time and appeared directly beside Rox and others. As soon as the 3 people appeared on the stage, the audience on the screen was in an uproar. Who are these 3? Well, that man in yellow clothes with 2 swords tied to his feet looks so familiar to 087. Yeah. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Isn't this the Golden Lion that was as famous as Roger? As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned for a moment, and then they realized that the name Golden Lion was not small, and soon someone took out a wrinkled reward order. After comparing it, everyone was shocked. That's right. It's not wrong that it's the Golden Lion. The legendary pirate Golden Lion. He is the person who once forced Roger, the Pirate King, into a desperate situation. Also, I used to be Rox with Whitebeard, Inma, Kaido, and others. It seems that this time we are uniting with Rox to fight against the Akatsuki organization. However, I heard that the current strength is no longer good. Although his current strength is no longer at its peak, no matter how weak he is still an extremely strong person. Then who are the other 2? One of them is the Golden Lion, and the other 2 should also be big shots. The old times have long since passed. Unless they are really famous people, few people actually remember them. This is one of the reasons why the strong pursue the strongest. Only by becoming the true strongest can they leave their name throughout the ages. Soon, someone found information about Doug Bullet. He said in a trembling voice, "The other person is also an incredible person, Bullet. Roger's right hand, Bashi." These words once again made the crowd excited. What? Bullet with the same name as Pluton Rayleigh? I'll go. Another top performer in the beginning, for him alone, Marine directly launched a buster call, and Garp Sengoku went there. In the end, it was Marine's strongest combat power at the time, Kong, who took action and captured him. Everyone was shocked. Rox, Golden Lion, and Bullet were all legendary pirates, once all-powerful figures. Suddenly, a person shouted, "That guy who looks a bit like a Western aristocrat is Patrick Lightfield." Who is Patrick Lightfield? You are really low, you are the Lonely Red. As soon as this name came out, some old people remembered it and said in surprise, "It's him, and he's not dead." And why does it feel like he's getting younger? On the side, some people they didn't recognize quickly asked, "Who is it?" He was also a strong man in the past. One person can equal a marine fleet. These words made people stunned. One person can equal a marine fleet. Isn't this too exaggerated? The marine fleet is a group of 12 ships for each trip, and there is at least one admiral and several vice admirals sitting on it, and at most there are several grand prizes and veteran strong men. And Patrick Lightfield is said to be one man for one team. You can imagine how scary he is. The Akatsuki organization actually provoked 4 legendary pirates. A Rox Akatsuki organization can definitely win. Of course, now we have 4 extremely powerful people. Xiao, can the organization win? There may be a chance, but it will be difficult. Although the 4 kings are powerful, they were able to kill one of them in front of 2-5 elders last time. It is conceivable that their strength has reached the extreme middle level. But now these are 4 top players, and in fact there is Rox, the strongest pirate. Rox's strength is probably above the mid-range at this time. People couldn't help but have an idea in their minds. Can the Xiao organization win this time? However, the thought passed away in a flash. After all, every time people were not optimistic about Xiao, they were slapped in the face every time, and people learned their lesson. Although he was a little shaken, he soon still believed in the Akatsuki organization. The Akatsuki organization is a slap-in-the-face machine. No matter what the opponent is, I believe that the Akatsuki organization can win. That's right. I have learned a lot of lessons. I used to bet my whole family on Marine to win, but now I'm fine. I'm bankrupt and my wife ran away with someone else. Xiao organization is Yids. Come on, let's open again. I bet on the Akatsuki organization. I also bet on the Akatsuki organization. No matter how many extremely powerful opponents there are, if the 4-5 elders come together now, I will bet on the Akatsuki organization. That's right. After learning the Akatsuki organization's lessons again and again, the Akatsuki organization is invincible. Everyone was bustling with determination on their faces, showing absolute confidence in the Xiao organization battlefield. Naturally, everyone doesn't know this. Above the sky, the 4 kings of dawn looked down. King Zhu said coldly, "I'm not talking about you." On the side, Pluton's face was full of teasing. "Rocks, this time you hired the Akatsuki organization to kill Yishen Changni." King Wu sneered, "Rocks, I don't care about your affairs. Why are you bringing people to get involved? Have you forgotten that you were injured by our Akatsuki organization last time? Or is it that the scar is healed and the pain is forgotten?" Below, Rock's expression turned cold after hearing this. "Last time, if I hadn't underestimated the other party, would I have suffered such a loss? Also, doesn't the Akatsuki organization not disclose information? Why, this time Xiao will tell him about hiring Xiao to kill Elder Yisheng." Rox cursed inwardly. "Are you trying to drag yourself into 4.4? The 5 elders knew that they hired the Dawn organization to kill not themselves, but the 3 saints. As long as the war is over, Elder Yisheng will definitely settle accounts with himself. I definitely can't get any benefits from it. What a good calculation, never mind." Rox doesn't care about it anymore and will put this matter aside for a later time. The current goal is to annihilate the Akatsuki organization. Below, the 5 elders heard this and looked at each other with a cold look on their faces. Since this guy Rox dares to deceive himself and others. He also talked about hiring Xiao organization to kill him. What the hell? But the 5 elders don't care, they are only cooperating temporarily anyway. He and others also have their own plans. This is okay, as long as the Akatsuki organization is eliminated. There will be a reason to take action against Rox. Alright legends, that's it for today. If you're ready for the next chapter, smash that like button and flood the comments right now. Remember, we've got 3 days to prove this story needs to continue. Subscribe so you don't miss the drop, and I'll meet you in the next audiobook.